Holy cow, guys. So much support on this beautiful Aloha Friday that is also a Reddit court episode. Hey guys, it's Starshard Zero here. Today, we're going to be looking at some Am I the Assholes. We're going to be determining who is the asshole, who is not the asshole. You get an asshole, you get an asshole, everybody gets an asshole. I hope you guys are ready. We also, of course, as always, have the Bean Boozleds on standby. So if anybody wants to cash that in, oh, here comes the chat. There we go. If anybody wants to cash that in, you can still do it. I do have the webcam, although it'll mostly be hidden by the live scene. So why? Oh, hold on. Before I show you guys anything, hold on. Emmyken sent this to me. She was extremely proud, and I told her she should not be. But we're gonna. I want to get chat's opinion on this because. Hold on. This is like the most frustrating thing ever. All right. I want to get chat's opinion on this. Emmyken's apparently is in the top 0.1% of BTS listeners. So she is theoretically one of the most diehard BTS fans in the world. You guys are going to side with Emmyken's, huh? Totari at least is. Am I the asshole for listening to nothing but BTS? Maybe that one will come up. She's actually already posted it. There she is. She's in the chat, guys. Feel free to congratulate and or make fun of her. Your choice. Anyway, you guys know why we're here. We're here to do some Am I the Asshole judgments. We're going to start top post from the last month. Am I the asshole for using flashcards to explain to my brother and his wife why they can't bring their rainbow baby to my wedding? I don't know what a rainbow wedding is. I don't know why he had to use flashcards. But it has a lot of awards, and it's a throwaway. And it's from 4 days ago. This is the top upvoted post of the last 30 days, and it was only submitted 4 days ago. Boy. All right. My fiance, F, and I, M, thanks, I guess, are getting married. We've decided wedding's gonna be child-free. No hate towards children, just to keep it more organized and contained. Fine. You're on Reddit, you're gonna get a lot of support from a bunch of weirdos. My brother Chris, M, and his wife, who does not get named here, but is presumably F, have a 3-year-old son who everyone calls Miracle or Rainbow Baby. He came after several failed pregnancies that lasted for years. He's 3 years old. He's not really a baby, he's like a toddler at that point, but sure. When they found out that my nephew was included in the no children rule, they tried to convince me to make an exception for him. Chris told me his son is a miracle baby and his presence at the wedding will bring blessings. Oh no, I'm laughing already. For me and my fiance, I refused and said no, the wedding is child-free. His wife kept sending my fiance pics of my nephew when he was months old. What that mean? I told them no and to stop. Because, okay, I can explain this because I've seen this behavior before. But look, it's a baby. Don't you love babies? Listen, some people like babies, some people don't like babies. It's easier now that we live in the future for more people who don't like babies to not have them and not have to deal with them. In the past, you had a baby and you're like, I don't know how this happened. Science just isn't there. We can't explain where children come from. Nowadays, we all know how it works. If you don't want to have kids, it's very easy to avoid. So this is a butting of heads of someone who doesn't want kids, or presumably, I mean, they don't specify that they are never going to have kids, but if you're making your wedding child-free, probably you're more on the not going to have kids side. Bread at court. Oh, are we gonna look at bread today? That does sound really good, actually. I could go for some bread. My wife was making biscuits for dinner, but they didn't get done in time for me to eat, so I had to have a biscuitless dinner. All right, my brother told me this might cause a rift in our relationship. Oh no. I again said no and explained that the wedding is child-free. He asked again and pointed out how his baby is different, since he's a rainbow, a miracle baby. All right, we get it, dude. I again said no, explained the wedding is child-free. The nephew is a child. The wedding is child-free. They brought it up when they visited at my home, and I knew they weren't going to stop, so I made flashcards in advance with the phrase, "The wedding is child-free, period," and pulled them out and started slowly showing them the flashcards one by one in this order. The wedding, with a sticker of bride and groom, is child, with a sticker of a baby, free, with a sticker of a Ghostbuster sign, period, with a huge black dot sticker. They both were stunned. Everybody in the coffee shop stood up and clapped, and then Albert Einstein handed me a $20 bill. I asked if they get it now, and Chris had lost his shit. His wife had already grabbed her stuff and walked out. Chris called me an asshole for doing... Why are you even interacting with these people? Oh, god damn it. Chris called me an asshole for doing this and said that I disrespected him, his wife, and their son, who's my one and only nephew. So I forgot to mention this at the start of the stream. Urban, I made a deal with Urban that every time someone said they were disrespected, I'd eat a bean. So we're off to a great start here. I'm sure he's very excited. Let me get that up on the screen. Ay. Off to a very beanie start. Oh, that's not gonna show up. Hold on, I gotta change the color of the font. No, that'll work. That should work. You guys should be able to see this. Maybe I'll still change it anyway. Can we make it purple? Give me purple. Like a purple color. That's it's too purple. There we go. All right, so here we go. 1 disrespect equals 1 bean. Haven't eaten it yet. I'm about to eat it right now. Emmykins is here, yes. She's staring at me. I don't know why she's staring at me. Okay, she wants to watch me eat the bean live and in person. So here's the beans. Here's the thing, Satari. I hadn't seen disrespect in a couple of months. I thought it had fallen out of fashion, but I guess it's back. So here we go. First bean. This is a birthday cake or dirty dishwater. Emmykins has been on the stream before, McMathy. I guess she can like pop over and say hi if she wants to while I eat this bean. Yeah, the dishwater one is fine. I'm hoping that it's birthday cake though, because it still doesn't taste very good. She's gonna put on a shirt because she's topless right now. She doesn't want to do like a ninja's wife type situation, and I don't want to get busted for TOS violations. All right. All right, here she comes. There she is. All right, I'm gonna eat the bean now. Oh, that's just a dang dirty dishwater, man. Yuck. Yuck. Ugh. It's like bitter. No, what? It's like, you know how if you get soap in your mouth and it has like that weird flavor because it doesn't quite mesh with like your saliva? It like, I don't know. I'm not a chemist or whatever. But yeah, it tastes like detergent or soap getting in your mouth. But also sweet because it's a jelly bean. McMathy likes flavored soap. You hang out at Lush a lot and just like eat the soap. All right, we're gonna go back to it. You guys don't have to see my face anymore. You don't? Okay. Oh, you don't eat the soap. You just like that it's flavored. I see. Okay, where were we? He disrespected me. And his wife, I said that I disrespected him, his wife, and their son, who's my one and only nephew. I only have one nephew. Who cares? He rushed out after we argued. My fiance saw the whole thing and thought that it was funny, but my parents and Chris are livid beyond measure. They're telling everyone about the amount of disrespect and mockery I had displayed towards them, and I'm being told to fix it now. That doesn't count. Only one disrespect for post. So this is just stupid. Like, just the baby is child free. Okay, but what about my special baby? Everyone thinks their baby is special. You still don't get to bring it to the wedding that's child free. Just don't go to the wedding. Or, you know what? Nuclear option, don't even have a wedding. You don't know, the flashcard part is like really stupid. Yeah, Vulcan Rider, the fix, elope. Screw it, who needs a wedding? Go to Vegas, have a great time. You'll spend less money and probably have a more memorable experience. But that's, I don't know, now we're getting into like cultural issues. I don't know where the idea of the big wedding came from. I guess a big wedding, like the industry, is like, well, no, everyone knows that a wedding should cost like 5 years' salary, right? I mean, duh. I mean, the dress alone should be like $40,000. So what is Chat gonna say? Oh, you're not the asshole. He needs to stop. Blah, blah, blah. You could have used hand puppets. Aren't hand puppets? They are raising that kid to think he's God's gift to Earth. He's gonna be so narcissistic as an adult. He will most likely terrorize the wedding and reception. All right. That one's really straightforward. I can see it hits all the Reddit buttons. Like people with kids, child-free weddings, people getting disrespected. Like, what is the word? Patronizing someone else. Like, oh, I had to use flashcards because my brother's so stupid he wouldn't understand anything else. That explains so much and why it's at the top. The next one is hilarious. Am I the asshole for doing weird/awkward poses? No curious poses? All right, well, Prince would be disappointed, but that's fine. Whenever my mother-in-law accidentally walks in on me in the bathroom. Another one with someone walking in on someone in the bathroom, huh? We had one of these last month. So, my mother-in-law, I'm a gal, by the way, lol, came to stay with us for a few weeks till her home is renovated for Christmas. The problem is that she's been randomly walking in on me while I'm in the bathroom. Lock the door? Thankfully, not once has she seen me naked because, I mean, who cares if she sees you naked? Whatever. Because I started picking up on her behavior after the second time in a week. She'd barge in, then turns and says, "Oh, sorry," then close the door. I tried talking to my husband about it, but he kept ignoring me, then flat out said, "So what if she accidentally seen you naked? She's family." He seriously said that. All right, husband's also an asshole. We've seen this before. It's pretty classic am I the asshole type post behavior. We have a lock and I could have used it, but I have past trauma from the idea of being locked, of locking/being locked in a room after my brother locked me in a bathroom when I was 5. Are you kidding me? You can't lock. What do you do when you go to the store and when you're in the stall? You just don't lock it? Lock the frickin' door. So I came up with this idea. I'd go inside the bathroom pretending to use it and wait for her to come, because honestly, it's deliberate at this point. When she accidentally barges in, she'd see me in a weird/awkward position. For example, doing a ballet stand, standing on the toilet, or standing facing the wall with my hands up. Or doing the Blair Witch thing, where you're like standing in the corner and staring at the corner. Fully clothed, of course. I could see how awkward and weird this would be for her because she'd stand there for a few seconds trying to figure out what I was doing. It was hilarious at first, seeing her initial confusion, but she told my husband about it, claiming she's caught me practicing rituals in the bathroom. Yeah, I guess. I cleared things up and revealed the reason why. My husband was livid. He called me childish and said that I made his mom feel terrified/weirded out by my behavior. He said I should have acted maturely and locked the damn door. I'm gonna go, I mean, I think it's funny, But I would also say just lock the door, and I'm going to get my mom out of here as soon as we can because she's clearly insane. And lock the damn door instead of playing mind games. Edit. Lol. What? I'm not going to read the edit because it's just going to be like, thanks for the updates. Not the asshole. Like, which part of this would be asshole behavior? Like, your mom's the one barging in on you. Should have played dead. Ooh, that's a good one. Vulcan Rider suggests pinching a really stinky loaf and waiting for her to walk in. Once her eyes start burning, she will stop doing it. Yeah, you just like unleash. Just be like, ugh, like you're going Super Saiyan on the toilet, and then see how she feels. Like, what is the mom's end game here? Like, oopsies, I walked in on you in the bathroom. Is it just like a power thing? Like, haha, I have seen my daughter-in-law in the bathroom. Now I have the upper hand. No, that's just, this is so stupid, like all around. Lock the door. Husband, listen to your wife. Mother-in-law, stop being crazy. So many like people being weird about this. I guess that's why we come to Am I the Asshole though. All right, what do we got? Chat says, not chat, the comments say, not the asshole, you went the funny way, and that's dope. Your husband is an asshole. He expects you to be mature about it, but doesn't expect his mother to knock on the door before walking in. Yeah, wait, he's mad at you because she barges in on you in the bathroom in your home that she is a guest in. Well, it's like her house because it's her son's house, so technically it's her house. If the husband's getting mad that you're joking around, yeah, no, the husband is, I'm not gonna say everybody sucks here, but like definitely the husband and the mother-in-law suck, which again, we've seen that before. The husband's like, but she's my mom, I can't tell her no. You absolutely can. I have told my mom no many times, and I don't care how she thinks about it. It's not the mother's house because it is, well, the son is her property because she gave birth to him. Therefore, anything that he owns is by the transitive property, her property. So that's it. That's probably her reasoning anyway. Am I the asshole? This is the next one, by the way. We're gonna keep moving here. We got to roll. We got a lot of posts to get through. For canceling the plans for Thanksgiving after my parents called my brother's baby their first grandchild. I'm assuming the poster also has a child, which kind of shitty. There's an update. We're not going to read the update unless it's like super pressing. Oh, I see the problem. I, 32F, have been with my wife, Ava, 34F, for 8 years now, but we've been married for 5. She was a single mom of 3 kids when we started dating. She had 2 daughters, now 10 and 12, and a son, now 16. I've watched these kids grow up. I've read the bedtime stories, done bath time, the first days of school, PTA meetings, all of it. You're doing bath time? Oh, okay, they're 10 and 12 now. Yeah, no, bath time makes sense. PTA meetings, all of it. I very much consider them to be my kids, and they've been calling me mom for almost 6 years now. Yeah, but they're not your parents' grandkids. At least not in the way that like you would traditionally. I don't know what the rules are. I mean, it's kind of shitty of the parents to do, but whatever. My brother Ivan, 28M, just had a baby girl with his fiance, Sarah, 27F. I love my niece, and my kids adore their cousin. My kids have been the only grandchildren on my side of the family since Ava and I got together, and there's never been a moment where the kids and my wife were treated like they didn't belong. Oh, that's good. My brother is their uncle, my mom and dad are their nana and pop. The kids see my family as their family, and I always thought that my family felt the same way about them. The kids and I were over at my brother's house, just hanging out, and my parents ended up dropping by with gifts for my niece. Ivan laughed when he saw the toys and told our mom and dad that they were going to end up spoiling her rotten. My mom said since my niece is their first grandchild, of course they have to spoil her. Okay. My kids were sitting in the living room with all of us, and my youngest daughter looked hurt when she realized that what my mother said. My son and my 12-year-old didn't fully react to it, but I could tell it bothered the both of them too. What do you mean you could tell that? Sarah spoke up and said, "Oh, you mean first grandbaby, not first grandchild." My dad shook his head and replied that my niece was their first grandchild. I didn't want my kids to keep sitting there and listening to that, so I handed my son my keys and told him to wait in the car with his sisters. When they were gone, I asked my parents why the hell they'd say that my kids weren't their grandchildren, and my mom said they couldn't be their grandchildren because they weren't really my children. Yeah, I could see their point. I mean, it's a shitty thing to say, but like family dynamics are kind of that's the way they are. Yeah, Sartari's the grandchild is a direct descendant. How does that work with like if you adopt a kid? I guess you wouldn't call them their grandchild. But the parents would call them the child though. It's weird. This is all like weird family dynamic inheritance law, cultural views, stuff like that. My wife and I were going to be hosting Thanksgiving at our house this year, but I told my parents that if they didn't view my kids as their family, then they could just host a meal at their own house with their real family while I spent the holidays with mine. I left before they could say anything else to me, and my wife and I have reiterated to the children they will always be my kids and I will always be their other mom, regardless of our DNA. I mean, you kind of have to. My brother is pissed at me now because he thinks now I have to make the turkey. He thinks I reacted too harshly and that I should try to see where my parents are coming from. My mom texted saying that she and my dad love the kids, but they still aren't their grandchildren, and she hopes we can come to understand that because she doesn't want this to ruin my niece's first Thanksgiving. So I'm gonna take both sides here, because if you play both sides, you never lose. The parents are kind of right. The adopted kids are not really their grandchildren. However, you shouldn't say it. You know what I mean? It's like, he's right, but he shouldn't say it. It's that kind of thing. Like, why even bring it up? Just be like, oh, well, it's just we haven't like had a baby. We haven't had a grandbaby to spoil, so no big deal. Like, who cares? You don't have to like lean into it. I haven't replied back. I meant what I said, but I'm worried that maybe I'm reacting too harshly. I adopted all 3 of the kids 4 years ago, so they aren't just my parents' step-grandchildren. Even if I hadn't legally adopted them, they'd still be my kids in my eyes. Yeah, well, the law would probably disagree. Yeah, Vulcan Rider, yeah, you shouldn't say it in front of the kids. So again, both sides. The parents are like within their right to be like, these aren't my grandchildren in the traditional sense, but also you shouldn't say that in front of the kids, or you just never say it out loud. Like, who cares? Like, what difference does it make? Like, okay, because this kid shares a quarter of my DNA, therefore it is more beneficial to me to have it in my family. That's kind of like fucked up. It's like, it shouldn't matter. Like, it's, I don't know. Maybe it's because I don't have kids and I don't want kids, and if I was gonna have kids, I would adopt a kid that I don't care. Like, a family doesn't have to be like one thing. That's how, yeah, family dynamics were the way because, I mean, again, it's like a cultural thing. If she'd married a guy who had kids, ooh, yeah, maybe this is like, I feel like they would react the same way. Because it doesn't seem like they care that she's married to another woman. But yeah, that would be a thing. What is not the asshole? Sister-in-law Sarah is a rock star. She totally tried to save that fumble. Yeah. As when she said, you mean first grandbaby, right? Not first grandchild. I'm like, no. The worst thing that we said was actually what we meant. So yeah, they doubled down and argued the point. Extremely unfortunate, and I'm sorry. Let's see, what else? Not the asshole. That was, yeah, just a shitty thing of the parents to think, let alone say in front of your kids. Completely justified in your reaction. If it were me, I don't know if something that could be fixed with a simple apology. Yeah. I don't know, man. This is weird. So even if they're right, they should not have said anything. I guess you can think it. I still think that's kind of shitty to think, because it shouldn't matter. It's like it's your daughter's kids, whether they're like real grandchildren or not. Or at least take the save. Be like, oh yeah, that's what I meant, like my first grandbaby, so we get to spoil them because, you know, they're little, and you know, when you kids came into the family, you were already almost all grown up, and now the kids feel like they're grown up and they're adults and they're mature, and then everybody is happy in that situation. I guess that requires a little bit of quick thinking and maybe not being an asshole. So nice, solid post here. And nobody's willing to compromise. Good point, Sartari. Someone should definitely try to find something. I don't know. I haven't had Thanksgiving with my family in like over a decade, so I don't even care. Am I the asshole? Chat. Am I the asshole? Well, am I? For refusing to help my stepsister with her house purchase and telling her and my stepfather that it's because of how they treated me as a child. Ooh boy, here we go. Step sibling drama. I'm 29F. When I was about 10F, my mom married my stepfather. My name's Cinderella, by the way. I have an older brother, Luke, who was 15. My stepfather had Amy and Ada, who were 12 and 11. Okay, so it's like a Brady Bunch situation. We didn't come from a privileged background. My mom was a min-wage worker and my dad was absent. Our stepfather had a very good income. Their deal was that they wouldn't combine finances and they would each contribute equally to the household and then each take care of the children with their spare money. Okay, that's super weird. I mean, if you're getting married at that point, it's like, whatever. So my mom never had anything for us, and my stepfather was spending big on his kids. This included holidays, which Luke and I were excluded from. Stepfather would pay for mom, but not us. Dude, what the fuck, dude? Come on. Luke and I also shared a room, even though Amy and Ada had their own rooms and we had a guest room because stepfather insisted that he was paying more toward the house. So my mom's share would only get her one room for the kids. This guy sounds like the biggest asshole of all time. What the hell? I thought my dad was bad. At least I had a room. Luke and I were constantly teased for this situation by the three of them as we grew up. My mom always said that we should be thankful because if it wasn't for our stepfather, we would not be living in a nice home in a good neighborhood. Yeah, hey asshole mom, what's your problem? Anyway, Luke and I became determined to be able to take care of ourselves so we wouldn't need to take nonsense from anyone. We've both done quite well with our careers and finances and we're in a very good place. Since turning 18 and moving out, my relationship with the three of them has been very limited. Good call. I wouldn't call us friends, but we can exist peacefully if we're in the same place. I visited my mum recently, and my stepfather mentioned that Amy wants to buy a house now that she's pregnant. Pregnant. He asked me if I'm able to help out a little with the deposit. The house is £500,000, which is about, I don't know, like $600,000 to $700,000, and she needs £150,000 deposit. She is £100,000 so far. $25,000 on her own, $25,000 from her mum, and $50,000 from stepfather. He was asking if Luke and I can help cover the extra $50,000, and he said he'd pay us back as part of the inheritance eventually. Whoa. Hold on now. That's not how this works. I said no. He insisted that Luke and I both own our houses outright and with our income, so we should be able to help. I said whether I can or not is irrelevant. My answer is no. Satari says, my question right here is, why are you still in contact with them? I've cut ties with blood relatives I don't like. Yeah, exactly. I've totally done that. I mean, I wouldn't say I've cut ties. I just don't contact them. Like, if they contact me, I'll be cordial, but... He reminded me that Luke and I each gave $10K to our cousin for buying a house as a gift. Amy is my sister. He's offering to pay us back. I said that was our choice then. This is my choice now. He insisted we should be willing to help out our family if we're able to. I replied back, like how you helped me and Luke when we were kids? Oh, mic drop. Everyone was silent. And then everyone stood up and clapped, and Albert Einstein handed me a $100 bill. After a while, he said if we went back in time, he'd have done things differently, treated all 4 of us equally. Yeah, a little late for that. I said, that's good of you, but doesn't make you entitled to my money now. He says he knows he's not entitled. That's why he's asking and promising to pay it back. So the answer's still no, not entitled to a loan either. My mom later told me I could have turned him down without being an asshole or bringing up childhood, which he already feels guilty about. Oh, he feels guilty about it? Oh, he feels guilty now? Now that he's old and probably retired and doesn't have to worry about it? All right, asshole. You're not the asshole. No, you should, you should never give, first of all, you should never loan money to family. That's free financial advice for you guys out there. You don't even have to cash in on that one. Rilip slapped the chicken nuggets out of his hands. There was sauce everywhere. I shouldn't have screamed at my stepfather like that, but I'm just so angry right now. Yeah, never loan money to family. And if your family were assholes to you as kids, now is the time for payback. So all you people out there who had shitty childhoods, your parents made you go to school, and they made you do chores around the house. Oh, the payback is gonna be sweet. They're gonna be in the worst retirement home ever, and I'm gonna rub it in their faces. Vulcan Rider says, I'm not sure which bothers me more, these people's plight or the fact they're putting it on Reddit for judgment. Well, listen, if they didn't put it on Reddit for judgment, there would be no show. So we have to appreciate it. Penthouse letter, it's the conceit is all of these are true, otherwise the entire thing falls apart. So every story here is 100% true, even if we don't want it to be. Even if it's really stupid and obviously fake, it is always true. So again, not the asshole. And continue feeling entitled to be a jerk to your family, your stepfather and his kids, into your old age, and it'll feel great. People say, oh, well, you know, an eye for an eye makes the whole world blind. Okay, well then, just call me Stevie Wonder. We have our first asshole of the night here. That means that the Reddit comments have determined that this post is an asshole. However, we'll be making our own judgment, and we're gonna see. Am I the asshole for calling my wife unreasonable for backing out of spending Christmas with my family after my mother rejected her cookie sample? End quote. Okay, probably don't need an end quote there, but let's check it out. So let's get the context first, because this title makes, like, I understand what it means, but it doesn't make any sense. For every holiday, my mother would ask the women in the family, my sister, sister-in-law, my wife, my female cousins, to send samples of the desserts they planned to bring to the celebration for testing, and to see if these desserts could make it to the food menu. So she does auditions for the desserts. What difference does it make? My wife has been complaining about my mother deliberately rejecting every dessert sample she sent. So many times my mother has told her that she's being honest and keeping the guest's best interest at heart. Yet my wife still thought that my mother is deliberately excluding her since 2 of her dessert samples were rejected before. All right, I'm going to stop you right there, because this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard of. Who's going to reject desserts at a holiday party? Everybody bring a dessert. The only reason that anyone would do this is to belittle someone you don't like, which is exactly what she's doing here. This, yeah, pure power trip. So Tari's got it right. This is mother-in-law hates my wife, or my mother hates my wife. So she's gonna create this fake challenge that all the ladies compete in just to specifically reject her desserts, which I will remind you are going to a holiday party where no one is gonna care like how crappy the dessert is. It's still sugar and fat and deliciousness. All right, for this year's Christmas, my mother's doing the same thing, but this time she told every woman who are participating to make a cookie sample and send it to her for testing. A cookie sample. That could mean something totally different depending on what part of the internet you're on. My wife took it as a challenge, and to be honest, she worked really hard to make a good sample and sent it to my mother days ago, and the results just came in yesterday. We've had people working round the clock in our extensive cookie lab to determine whether this cookie is acceptable. The answer was no. I came home from work and found my wife upset. Gee, I wonder what happened. I asked what's wrong. She told me that my mother rejected the sample she sent and decided to exclude her baking from the food list / menu for Christmas this year. I don't know what to say, but she told me she was backing out of the invitation to attend Christmas with my family. Oh, now I understand why this guy's an asshole. I was stunned when I heard her make this statement. I tried to talk to her, but she said it was done. I called her unreasonable to decide to bail on the whole family over some stupid cookie sample. That's just crazy and quite unreasonable. We had a full-on argument about it, and she stated that my mother caused this, but I told her my mother is pretty serious and careful about the food she offers to the guests, since we're going to have relatives coming from all sides of the country. She told me to stop mentioning it. This guy. This guy. Hello? No. Wrong. That is not a good response. Later, I heard her cry, despite telling her that she's being completely unreasonable and that her baking is amazing and people have preferences. No. How do you mess up a cookie? I've had bad cookies and they're still okay. And if I was at a Christmas party, I would eat them. Just because you have relatives coming from all over the country, that doesn't make any sense. That's like a non sequitur. Am I the asshole for insisting that her emotional, womanly decision was unreasonable? And the answer is yes. Yes, you are. You deserve that big red asshole tag. If you're asking whose cookie sample made it to menu, the answer is my 2 sisters and my 2 cousins. My wife wasn't the only one whose sample was rejected. We have sister-in-laws, brother's wife, and my younger sisters. My mother did not force anyone to participate. It was up to whoever wanted to take part. This is just about the dessert, since my mother tends to be very careful in this category, but for other types of food, dishes, appetizer, salad, stuff like that is welcome, as she stated. I just got off the phone with my brother, and he told me that his wife is doing the same thing as my wife, and she's decided to back out of the invitation to spend Christmas with family as well. Turns out my wife must have told her about the decision and decided to follow her lead. My brother's pissed, saying my wife is encouraging his wife to do this. How dare she? I see that the problem has just gotten bigger now. Who knows, my younger sister might join in and decide not to go as well. I don't know how this got out of control. You don't see the problem? I can tell you. I guess we'll try to have a discussion with my mother about this soon and see how it goes. Bro. It's cookies. She should go. Oh, Vulcan Rider's saying she should go visit her family. I don't know. Her family. She should go visit her family. Yeah, good point. Like, go see her. She can go see her mom, who I guess probably wouldn't care as much about the lab testing of the cookies. My mom's just very particular about the cookies she allows into her home. Like, it's a cookie, man. Not that hard. Locked due to excessive uncivil comments. That's always a fun message to see in a Reddit post. What the hell happened to compromise between a husband and a wife? Are you referring to a compromise like on his part or on her part? Because it sounds like she's been dealing with this for a while and she's just fed up with the fact that her cooking apparently, or her baking is just not, on his part. Oh, for sure, yeah. We always go to my mother's for Christmas, so we're going to continue doing it in perpetuity. And good Sartari, that would make sense, but it should be probably stated beforehand, and I doubt the mother-in-law, or the mother in this case, would be able to like taste test the cookies to make sure they don't have allergens in them. Like, if she asked like, hey, so Uncle Steve is allergic to peanuts, so could everybody, if you're gonna be making something, please send me the recipes beforehand so I can make sure everything's labeled so he doesn't accidentally eat the death cookie. Sure, that's fine. But that's not what this is. This is like a America's Got Talent style elimination tournament for who gets to bring the cookies to Christmas. And the answer should be everyone gets to bring the cookies to Christmas. But apparently that's not how it works around here. Don't automatically go to bat for your mom. That's like the number one, or maybe number two, advice that we've learned from reading these posts. It's like, it's either the wife is pissed that her husband is like not standing up to his mom, or the husband is like siding with his mom and like berating the wife, like in this case. Okay, so correct me if I'm wrong, but for years and years your mother has demanded that all the women, why not the men and the children too, in your family send in samples. For years and years your wife has tried her hardest to appease your mother, had pushed herself to the limit, and has been left completely and utterly demoralized each and every time by a humiliating tradition enforced by the holiday tyrant. And even worse, her shame was publicly put on display each and every year, as other family members would no doubt notice that once again, her food was not chosen. Finally, after producing something she was unbelievably proud of, a chocolate chip cookie, she was once again left embarrassed and most likely deeply hurt, as she was deemed not good enough for yet another year. This is the proverbial straw that broke the proverbial camel's back, and she decides she's had enough of her humiliation, and that she will not give her cruel mother-in-law the satisfaction of seeing her discomfort on such a big day. She makes a boundary that many would have made a long time prior, and her husband tells her she is unreasonable for setting up boundaries. I can't do that voice and say, dude, come on, you know you're the asshole. But yeah, agreed. 80 user received Reddit gold for this post. User received Reddit. I don't even know what this is. What is this? Okay, I clicked on, wait, hang on, where are we? Get out of here. Take me back. Hal, get me out of here. Open the pod bay doors, Hal. His mommy is apparently Gordon Ramsay. It's fucking raw. Yeah, it's cookie dough. It's supposed to be served like that. And Satari says, dude, I would love to go to a Christmas party and just hear a fucking donkey. Yeah. You call this a cookie? Am I the asshole for leaving after being told to be quiet at dinner? Let me guess. I, 14M, hate my stepdad. How close are we? Oh, okay. The title probably makes it sound worse than it was, but I'm still conflicted. So F21's boyfriend, M24, of more than a year. I guess those are acceptable ages to like normal people. Not to me, but to normal people. Invited me to dinner with his family, mom, dad, and his 16-year-old brother. Never met them prior to that. Whoa, ho, 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 whoa. All right, a little late in the relationship to be meeting your boyfriend's parents, I think. Maybe not. I don't know. It's the future, man. Like things are how they are. The only thing I knew about them is that they're conservative and Christians, but lovely people. I don't want to say that's an oxymoron. But that may or may not be an oxymoron. I guess we'll read along and find out. And they were. I got along really well with them before dinner. They were lovely and talkative. When it was time for dinner, my BF's dad wanted to pray. Okay, you know, whatever, when in Rome. After praying, he said something along the lines of, let us dig and let the food keep us quiet. This is a pretty popular saying in our country, mostly told to young children in school. My understanding of this has always been you shouldn't speak with food in your mouth or be extremely loud at the table. I wouldn't say it's a cultural thing, though. I dug in, took a bite, it was fish soup. Absolutely delicious. And you know, like a good guest, I wanted to compliment the cook. This is delicious. Is it saffron? A perfect autumn soup. My BF's brother looked surprised. My BF's father hushed me big time. a really aggressive shh with a finger over his lips. And then he said again, let the food keep us quiet. I apologized because I thought I'd accidentally spoken with food in my mouth or something, but a few minutes passed and nobody said a word. What the fuck? God, this is like a, I don't know, this is like a serial killer house or something. Super awkward and weird, especially since they'd been so talkative before. My BF was also unusually quiet. He usually talks during dinner. After a few minutes, I was too weirded out and asked about their day. No, you shouldn't have said anything. You should have known. And how nice it was they invited me there, and his mother did the hush thing so awkward. I think this is when it clicked. No speaking at all at the table. Let the food keep us quiet, really quiet. But this was a super awkward situation. I couldn't deal with it. Imagine sitting at a table with 5 people, everybody eating soup looking dead serious, so I laughed. It just slipped out. Ended up being told off by boyfriend's parents that I was being disrespectful. God damn it. And if I didn't respect how their household worked, I could eat alone in the kitchen. We were eating in like a separate dining room, like normal people. So I thanked them for the food and left to the hotel me and my boyfriend stayed at. My boyfriend later told me this was an asshole move, that I should have just kept quiet or eat alone in the kitchen. I understand their family traditions and rules, but it was so weird. I just couldn't take it anymore. Was I being an asshole though? Yeah, does anybody like know where this would be a thing? This is so strange. And also, yeah, Sertari, this should have been brought up beforehand, like, hey, I know this is weird, but at my house we don't talk during dinner, so just keep that in mind. Just be quiet and we can talk before and after. Yeah, absolutely. The boyfriend should have like given a heads up. I guess when you're raised in a household like this, you assume everyone else does it, right? This is the craziest thing. But you saw it, chat. I'm not gonna get myself out of this one. Someone was disrespected and they must be punished. So I will punish myself by eating one of these disgusting beans. Let's see what it is. Some sects of Quaker and I think Episcopalians are like that. Eastern Europe? Orthodox? All right, give me a good one. Give me a good one. All right, what do we got? This is it's white with flecks of yellow, which is either rotten egg or buttered popcorn. Both of which are not actually very good, so. I think it's supposed to be rotten egg. Oh, sorry. I'm not supposed to talk while I'm eating. Ooh. Yeah. Yeah, it's rotten egg. Ugh. Oh, God. Why did I agree to this? Terrible idea. Ugh. All right, back to the post. So I don't know. Yeah, conservative Christians that don't eat during dinner. Maybe there's some extra stuff. Not the asshole. He could have warned you and given you the opportunity to skip dinner because you don't dine in monasteries. Also, you're not a 3-year-old to be sent to the kitchen to eat alone. This is super controlling, weird behavior. Yep. That's conservative Christianity for you. They, super controlling and weird. BF should have warned you. BF should have warned you that his family is weird. Boyfriend should have warned you. I would not want to be a part of this family. Boyfriend didn't warn you. All right, nobody's trying to get details. Yeah, it's just a bunch of boyfriend should have warned you. Be nice. It's my channel, Vulcan. I don't have to be nice. I'm sure some people are very nice, but in this case, this is just weird. So I guess we didn't get to find out what sect they belong to. Am I the asshole for sitting on my husband's lap during Thanksgiving dinner because all the chairs at the table were taken? Oh, an awkward situation to find yourself in. I, F28, have been with my husband Sean, not his real name, M33, for 2 years, married for 5 months. Most of his family are decent people, but his mom can be a little passive-aggressive and tends to criticize me a lot. Oh boy, here we go. Sean sees it as her still not getting used to me being around, but I don't know, because she treats his ex, Julissa. All right, Julissa. Mother-in-law says that Julissa has not been around the family for age, and her past with Sean never affected her relationship with her. Oh, has been around the family for age, and her past with Sean never affected her relationship with mother-in-law. Got it. So did she go back to the hotel and take the rental car, make him walk back, or get a ride? It did not specify. I assume maybe they live in a place that actually has like public transportation. You just catch like a bus or a train or something. Since it was not the US, we can almost assume that is the case. It kind of sounded like Japan because they're having fish soup, but I have no idea. Fine, I never minded her attending every holiday and being around till yesterday. We had Thanksgiving dinner at my mother-in-law's house. Sean went there before me, and when I arrived, it was already dinner time. What were you doing? Everyone was seated, and I saw that all the chairs were taken. I asked mother-in-law why she didn't save me a seat, and she said sorry, and that one of her granddaughters decided to show up last minute and the chair was taken. I looked at her, then at Julissa, who was sitting next to Sean, that hussy, and tried to point out that I was more deserving of her chair. Well, I mean, since I'm the dill, I know I shouldn't have said that. Okay, well, she knows she shouldn't have said it. Mother-in-law flat out said that Julissa is as much family as me, and that it was rude to imply otherwise. Julissa, that harlot, was nodding confidently while glancing at me. I was so upset that I slapped the... I wanted to leave, but decided to just sit on my husband's lap and act as casual as possible. I sat on his lap asking if he was okay with it. Don't worry, I'm petite. He's strong built. Okay, don't care, didn't ask. And started eating so casually while smiling and come on, this is so stupid. And complimenting the food and mentioning to Sean how warm and comfortable his lap was now and then. The table went awkwardly silent. Brother-in-law would try to break the silence and change the subject, but it somehow goes back to being awkward. Yeah, it's fucking awkward because you're sitting on your husband's lap. You know what should have happened? Sean should have been like, hey mom, you didn't like get another chair for my wife? All right, we're just gonna leave. This is so stupid. The Europeans have, okay, could be Europe. Wish we had more fish around here, but unfortunately, it's like the farthest you can get from the ocean almost, so we don't really, well, we have lake fishing and like river fishing around here, I guess. When I think fish soup though, I think saltwater fish. Minutes later, Julissa excused herself to the bathroom, and so did mother-in-law. Okay, just gonna go hang out. It was still awkward, but I did my best to focus on dinner. Sean was eating as well. Later, there was so much tension, and mother-in-law was barely able to speak after Julissa left, early, like right after dinner. Sean and I went home, and mother-in-law tried calling, but then called Sean and texted me saying what I did was inappropriate, and I ruined Thanksgiving dinner and made it awkward. Pro tip, chat: never go to your family's house for Thanksgiving. Just don't do it. Nothing good can come of this. She said it wasn't her fault chairs were taken. I could have dragged a chair from the kitchen. Oh, so there was a chair. You just didn't want to go grab one. And made Julissa, that hussy, and family uncomfortable with how inappropriate I was. Need to mention that even if I took a chair from the kitchen, there was not enough. Oh, okay. There's not enough space at the dinner table to fit the chair. Everyone was sitting right next to each other. What is this like Julissa thing? So he was either married or dating this woman before, and now mother-in-law is like, Sean should have never broken up with you, so here's my plan to get you two back together. I know he's married now, but it's only been 5 months. So here's the plan. You're going to come to Thanksgiving, and I'm going to sit you next to Sean, and we're not going to have enough room for his new wife, soon to be ex-wife. It's like some weird roundabout plan to get rid of her. Yeah, this is just weird. Of all the things that we want to say are fake on Am I the Asshole, this is definitely up there. Oh, Sotari. Oh. Sotari says, my aunt used to pull this shit with my cousin's girlfriend. Wow. So this is a real thing that has happened at least once, kind of, and it always pissed me off. I would piss me off too. I'd be like, hey, mom and or auntie or whatever. What the fuck is wrong with you? Not the asshole. The whole ordeal could have been avoided had your husband done what he should have done and gave you his seat while he went to fetch another one. In fact, you should have already had an empty seat beside him waiting for you. I can't imagine putting my wife in such an awkward situation. Yes, why did the husband not make sure there was space for his wife? Another extremely good question. Why is the husband okay with his ex being treated better? Why was the ex even there? It's a rabbit hole that we cannot afford to go down right now. But yes, all of those questions. Am I the asshole for wearing white to my wedding? No, you're not the asshole for wearing white to your wedding. I don't care what the tradition says. I recently got married to the love of my life, Jay. We had a perfect wedding except for one thing. My mother-in-law's freak out when she saw my dress. When we had gone dress shopping, I invited her and I found my perfect dress. Is there like a term for a momzilla? Like a bridezilla, but it's not the bride, it's the mother-in-law? My husband's family has a tradition of always wearing blush dresses on their wedding day. What is that, like pink? Blush? Some kind of weird color, I guess. Reddish, pinkish. They told me about this before and I respectfully said I would wear whatever color my perfect dress was. All right, ladies in the audience, what is a perfect dress? Because I've seen this so much. It's like, oh my gosh, I have to find the perfect dress. It's like, hello, you're wearing it for one day. Who cares what it looks like? Like, I guess you're gonna get pictures taken and then you want it to look good, but there's probably more than one good dress out there you could pick. You're not gonna find the perfect one. Oh, it's just called mother-in-law? Yeah. Once I finally found it, it was white. Mother-in-law asked me to ask if they could alter it to make it blush or to find a new dress if they couldn't. I said I would ask, but if they couldn't, then that was that. Okay, so this is the husband's family's tradition. Her tradition is wearing whatever the fuck she wants on her wedding. I think that supersedes the husband's tradition. Long story short, they couldn't, and I showed up to my wedding in a white dress, like a normal person. All through the ceremony, mother-in-law was seething with rage. During the reception, she pulled me aside and asked why my dress was white. I told her I didn't want to find a new dress and they couldn't alter it. She said it was a tradition. It's my tradition. You have to follow it. And she was disappointed that I had broke it. Jay also said that he was disappointed when I walked down the aisle in a white dress. Dude, why did you marry this person? The perfect dress. One that is both flattering in figure, but also pretty on its own. Oh boy. Jay also said he was disappointed when I walked down the aisle in a white dress. Wow, what a memory to have of your wedding day. Jeez, man. Emikin says that the perfect dress is the one you like the most. Okay, well, they're making it sound like it's some kind of mythical artifact you have to locate at the dress shop. I've dug through hundreds of dresses looking for the perfect dress. I'm still no closer than when I started. But I know if I keep looking, eventually it will find me. Emikin says, I had an aunt whose mother-in-law forced them to get married on the mother-in-law's birthday and then made the reception/wedding dance also her birthday party. How have you never told me this before? That's insane. And the mother-in-law wore red. Is that something you're not supposed to do? I don't know, like, wedding etiquette. I'm assuming not if you're bringing it up. Right? You're not supposed to outshine the bride on her wedding day, right? That's the rule. So, and also don't wear white, don't wear, I guess, like bright colors or like standout colors. Wow. Seriously, I'm glad I never, when me and Emmykins got married, I didn't invite anyone except some people that I had on hand. It was basically an elope situation. And it was good. It was good and cheap. I think I actually, once the gifts were accounted in, I actually made money on my wedding. So off to a great start there. Also, I've already clicked on the next post, so we're gonna move on to that one. We got to get past these wedding ones. Am I the asshole for refusing to leave the room when my husband told me to? How does that? Why would your husband ask you to leave a room? My husband's best friend, female, got the news of her dog's cancer days ago. My husband would call her every day till yesterday when she visited. Okay, that's sad, but I opened the door for her, greeted her, then led her to the living room and went into the kitchen to get a glass of water after my husband asked me. I came back and didn't find them in the living room. Turns out they went into the guest room and the door was shut. I heard weeping/sobbing sounds coming from inside. I knocked, then got in and found them embracing each other, crying. I stood by the door, but my husband paused and told me to give them a moment. I gotta say that I did not feel comfortable with his request, so I remained standing. He got up and started repeatedly telling me to get out. Get out. Can't you see I'm busy? I told him it's my house, my rules, chap, and he can't tell me where I can and cannot stay. He got angry and told me to get out and we'll talk later, but I refused. Okay, now you're being a little ridiculous here. He asked what was wrong with me for not seeing how tense the situation was and for not giving them privacy. I told him that they did not need to shut the door for any reason, no matter what it was. Is this gonna be another, like, when I was a kid, like my parents didn't let us have doors because they didn't think that, like, we should never lock someone out or whatever? We argued and she ended up leaving. Yeah, I can't imagine what an awkward situation. You go to your friend's house like, oh no, my dog is dying, and then his wife like comes in and leers at you. How dare he console his best friend? Vulcan Rider says, listening to these stories fills me with depression about how depraved our society is and makes me thank God that I caught and hung on to Mrs. Vulcan. Well, listen, Vulcan Rider, the point of reading these stories is both to entertain and to educate. Edutainment, if you will. We come here, we laugh at insane people doing insane things. We get angry together at people doing also insane things. And sometimes we learn something about how to properly exist in a society together. Because, like it or not, we're all stuck here until Elon Musk takes all the rich people to Mars and leaves us poors to our own devices. But in the meantime, we have to treat each other with respect and not disrespect each other, lest we force myself to eat a bean. Okay, he blew up at me afterwards, calling me unbelievable and saying I had no respect for him. That's not disrespect. That does not count. There's no diss in there. And his friend who's going through a hard time and refusing to give them privacy. I told him how weird it was for them to shut the door just because they were crying. He told me I was petty and overbearing to act like this in front of her and stopping him from showing proper support. Okay, everybody grieves in their own way. But this dude probably needs to like see it from his wife's perspective. Like, you went into the guest room and were like hugging and crying, which I guess is okay. But if this is the first time that the wife is like understanding the kind of relationship going on here, it might look a little weird. He's completely gone radio silent and acting like I kicked her out or treated her poorly. Everybody sucks here. I'm not the asshole. Definitely everybody sucks here. So everybody's in their late 20s or 30s, like the guy. She's been his best friend slash sister like for over 8+ years. Oh, he's cheating. He's cheating hard. She tends to be very emotional and highly sensitive. We don't get along because she tends to be a boundary stomper and does slash says things that make me feel like I don't know my husband as much as she does. She also compares us as well. Initially, I did not want her to come to the house, but my husband called her and told her to come since he didn't see.
Ask you how you are. You
There we
just
go.
have to say
Okay.
that you're fine.
We
You're
got
not
it.
really fine, but you just can't get into
The
it, and they
microphone
would
like
never
cut out. I
understand.
had to replug it back in. It was very strange. This never happened before. What was where did we leave off? Anyway, the point is everybody sucks here. The wife is like maybe being a little like weird about it. The husband should, I don't know, just like everybody's really weird about this situation. Everybody sucks here. Everybody's the asshole. And maybe there needs to be some better communication between husband and wife. And if the friend is like, well, he may be your husband, but he's my best friend, and I'll have him eventually, or something like that. It's weird, man. I don't know. What do we got? What does chat say? Oh, this is a, oh boy. Holy cow, this is a novel. I'm gonna get so downvoted for this, but I honestly don't think I know if I would feel comfortable with my husband in a room holding another woman that isn't family. I find this strange and disrespectful. Doesn't count, it wasn't in the OP. I get men and women can be friends, but there is a thing of being too friendly. Don't get me wrong, I'm not a jealous person, but the fact they were hiding in a room from her just kind of puts off alarm bells in my head. I don't know the whole situation, but like I said, it sounds strange to me. So it does. Vulcan Rider says, I can't see any good reason to go into a room and close the door with another woman. Well, if it's like your sister or something, I guess, but I don't know. Again, it's weird. Emmykins, can we get like a woman's opinion on this? Okay, Emmykins is gonna come give a woman's opinion. She's coming over right now. She's not coming over. She does not want to weigh in on this one. She says it'll be unpopular. Okay, well, I don't like left or right wing politics. Chicken wing is where it's at. I do enjoy the occasional chicken wing. So yeah, that's just a weird, I don't know if I can even like answer that aside from everybody sucks here. You guys need to sort your shit out. Next one. Am I the asshole for not getting on a flight upon finding out that he, whoever he is, put my kids in economy? Bro, you get first class and the kids get to go in the economy? That sounds awesome. Oh wait, hold on, he's got kids too. Ooh, yikes. That's really bad. So my fiance has 3 kids from his former marriage, while I have 2. Another Brady Bunch situation. From my former marriage as well. I quit my job to start focusing on getting my degree. He's become the breadwinner. Bread, if you will, although I still contribute with my savings. I also do 80% of childcare and chores. I wonder how she calculated that. She's like, well, and if you see my spreadsheet here, you can see that I do approximately 80% of all the childcare and chores around the house. I have taken your approximate time spent doing childcare and chores, and it calculates to be about 19.78%, which rounds up to 20%. So we'll just keep these numbers nice and even. Long story short, he wanted me and my kids to attend Thanksgiving with his family. Thanksgiving is capitalized. It is a proper noun. What is with all these people not capitalizing Thanksgiving? With his family who are located across country. It's like Christmas or any other holiday. You capitalize it in normal English, at least American English. That's the only one I know. We were supposed to go yesterday ahead of time to get a rental place. He balked our tickets and everything, but later before the flight, I found out that his kids and myself were put in first class, expensive as hell, while my two kids, 14 and 10, were put in economy. I was stunned. He acted like it was no big deal and told us it's just a few hours. If it's just a few hours, why don't you all ride in economy? Big spender. And the kids could just hang in there for a little while. I asked how he could think this was acceptable. He got mad and said he's the one paying for tickets. Then we go by his rules. Oh, his tickets, his rules. That's a new one. I immediately turned around and took the kids and made my way out of the airport. He started following us, screaming, and he knocked the chicken nuggets out of my hand to go back, but I refused and told him that I no longer felt like spending Thanksgiving with his folks after this. Damn, I wonder why he is from a former marriage. My youngest cried because she never flew without me. He went with his kids. Me and the kid. Wait. You can just leave the airport? What about her bags? Okay, whatever. Maybe this isn't in America, but Thanksgiving though, that's an American thing in November at least. My and the kids are home. He has not stopped calling, trying to berate me, and even had his mom text that I needed to get over myself and stop teaching my kids to be spoiled and entitled. She said the fact that I was willing to miss Thanksgiving with the family over something so trivial. If it's so trivial, then it shouldn't have been a big deal for the husband to either put everybody in first class or everybody in economy. Shows my real character and personality and mindset, or lack thereof. I have not replied, but I feel horrible. Am I the asshole? Should I just let it slide? Yada, 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 yada. All right. Yeah, the nuggets got knocked out of my hand, or knocked out of her hand because he was yelling at her so hard. What is this post? This is a post. Oh yeah, we had another similar one. The daughter who was in economy class. McMatthews posted the link in the chat for everyone. I'm currently getting myself in the kids pack so we can go stay with my mother. This has happened before in other instances, but I kept thinking to myself, this is not right, but I've invested too much time and effort in this relationship. Oh boy. Chat, you remember that discussion we had like maybe a month or two ago, or maybe it was even further back than that, about how the stats on like second and third and fourth, etc. marriages were like really bad? It's like on average, everybody, all marriages, 50% of marriages will end in divorce. But then of course you have like Divorce George over here, who gets divorced like 10,000 times a year, which is, he's bringing down the average. This is that guy. It's like, okay, I got 3 kids and I'm gonna marry someone with 2 kids. But me being the pants wearer in the house, well, I'm gonna be flying first class with the important members of the family. You 2 shitheads can ride in the back. Like, no. You have a couple of options here. A couple of acceptable options, I guess I should say. Everybody rides together in first class. Everybody rides together in economy, sometimes called coach. Or parents ride in first class, kids ride an economy together. I think that is an acceptable solution. But me and my kids and you get to ride up front, and your kids get to ride in back is not one of the acceptable options for traveling as a group together. Feel free to let me know whether that's acceptable or not. So am I the asshole? No, you probably get out of this relationship because it's a little ridiculous. Not the asshole. His kid's in first class, your kid's in economy. That's a bad sign for the future. Yep. No, you're right, and not the asshole. Either all kids fly one way or no dice. Yep, there you go. If you can't afford first class for 4, you can afford first class for 6. Or all fly economy if you don't want kids to feel entitled. Sure. Yep. Not the asshole. Your fiance seems... Wait, oh, fiance? Whoa, hold up. Oh, they're not even married? Oh, yeah, get out of this now. I thought they were married. Definitely bail on that one before it gets any worse, because it's not getting any better. Okay. Whoa, wait, whoa. We have an asshole here, chat. And this title, this is one of the spicy ones I was mentioning before. I've seen this one when I was checking, because this is from almost a month ago. Am I the asshole for telling my wife that leaving her used pad in my brother's place was inappropriate? Yes. Yes, you are. More acceptable than what he did. He just met his next ex-wife. Well, if they don't get married, it's just gonna be his ex-girlfriend, but yes. My wife and I were invited to my brother's 31st birthday. He's single and lives alone in his apartment. Do you guys remember the one, was it last month, with the person who tried to flush a pad and it like flooded the bathroom? I'm getting flashbacks to that one now for some reason. So to give you the heads up, my wife and him don't get along so well, but can be civil enough to sit at the same table. Okay, that's fine, I guess. So we went and had dinner and talked, and everything was going well, no argument, nothing, till after my wife went to use the bathroom. Later, my brother went to use the bathroom, then came back looking pissed. He kept giving me and my wife looks, but I didn't know what was going on till he pulled me aside before we left, and he told me that my wife had left her used pad in his bathroom. What? On the floor? On the mirror? In the tub? What? I was shocked and didn't know what to say because this felt highly inappropriate. He said he didn't appreciate what my wife did and that it was a sign of disrespect towards him. Oh, God. How did we get like all the disrespects in one night? This is the most we've ever had. Oh, yeah. Another bean coming up after this post, I guess. I apologized profoundly. I don't think that's what that word means, what you think it means. And said I didn't know about it. He asked me to speak to her or she wouldn't be welcome in his place anymore. We got in the car, I asked my wife about it. She nonchalantly said there was nothing wrong with what she did and that my brother was being ridiculous. Agreed. I kind of flipped and told her it was very inappropriate for her to leave her used pad in his place, even if it was in the bathroom and in the trash can, because it made him uncomfortable. She yelled asking what she was supposed to do. I told her she could have took it with her and threw it outside, not in his bathroom. That's my brother's place, and he told me how he felt about it. She yelled at me, calling my brother an incel and me an asshole for getting in her face about it. She said she needed to use the bathroom. It's not like the pad was visible since she dumped it in the trash can. Yeah, what was he going through the trash can? Like, what the heck? At home, we still argued about it, and she kept on calling me and my brother names. I mean, he does sound like an incel, but she's currently not speaking to me and is avoiding me entirely. Regardless, I feel it's his place and he gets to express what makes him uncomfortable in it. Dude, I can't believe you shit in my bathroom. You're disrespecting me. You come into some guy's house and you shit in his bathroom? That's disgusting. It's like, what? Dude, it's a bathroom. That's what it's for. You do like toilet stuff in there. I can't give info or expand on what was seen, but I can tell you the trash can does not have a lid. It's a trash can in the bathroom that's not in like a fast food restaurant. So yes, it does not have a lid. It's not like one of those trash cans, blah, blah, blah. I want to emphasize is the fact that as guests, we should respect people's homes and not argue about what makes them uncomfortable. He said it made him uncomfortable, and that should, in my opinion, be acknowledged. Dude, this guy just signed his own death warrant. Wow. Wrap it in TP and throw it away. Maybe she did. Like, maybe she, like, rolled it up and, like, wrapped it up and threw it. And the guy was like, wait a minute. What's this? And then he, like, digs in the trash, and he's like, oh. I'm just imagining, like, who cares? See, the way you were describing it made it seem like she left it unwrapped on the edge of the sink or something, or like, but she threw it away in the bin that's meant for trash. So yeah, you're the asshole. I thought she like stuck it in the wall or something. Yeah, no, she put it in the trash can. Please walk me through the logic here like I'm 5, because you lost me. The pad is too disgusting to put in the bathroom trash can. So you would rather she put it in a pocket, her purse, or just carry it around instead? It's too disgusting for the literal trash can. So she should instead carry it on her person during a birthday party. No, I'm saying she shouldn't have her period. Duh. Everybody knows that. Okay, I gotta eat another bean because Urban is like prophetic or something. So here comes Mr. Bean. Let's do it. This is number 3. This is like the most beans I've eaten in one night. I'm not saying that it shouldn't have fallen out of use. We haven't seen it in like last month. I don't think we saw it once. I had to like make it up. So we have another booger / juicy pear here. We're gonna try this one. Oh. It's a juicy pear. It's so good. Oh yes. Oh. No disrespect. That's a good jelly bean. Good bean. Good bean, chap. His brother's apartment should be the local chapter of the He-Man Woman Haters Club. No girls allowed with your disgusting, like, period stuff. Nobody wants to know about that. Ew. Bro, you came over and you pissed in my toilet? What's wrong with you? All right, here we go. Next one. Another asshole. 2 assholes in a row, chat. It's my lucky day. Am I the asshole for asking my husband to join us in my sister's birthday since he was in the same restaurant? What was he doing? Is this like a Mrs. Doubtfire situation? Some kind of sitcom thing? I, F26, was invited to my sister's 18th birthday a few days ago at a restaurant. All right, so far so good. Nothing offensive here. My husband didn't come because he said he had a meeting dinner with some clients. Uh-oh. This made my family feel let down, especially my sister who wanted him there, and also her 18th birthday was a big deal to her, obviously. You know what I got on my 18th birthday? Hold on, I gotta like come up with something. My dad handed me a backpack full of rocks and pushed me at the airplane. Said, "Welcome to the real world, sucker." To my surprise, when I arrived, I noticed that my husband was having his meeting at the same place. Oh my gosh, how convenient. His table was right in the corner and he had about 4 men sitting with him. My parents and the guests saw him as well. I waved for him and he saw me but ignored me. Yeah, because he's having a business meeting with some clients. So he kind of has to be like in business mode. He obviously was as much surprised as I was. Did he not know what restaurant he was taking people to? Or like there was no... A little weird, but all right. Rilip just finished lighting the tree with his wife and the disrespect counter went up twice. Yeah, we've had 3 disrespects today already. My parents asked why he didn't even come to the table to acknowledge them after the cake arrived. I got up and walked up to his table. I stood there and said, "Excuse me?" My husband was silent when I asked after I introduced myself to the client if he'd take a few minutes to join me and the family in candle blowing and say happy birthday, but he barely let out a phrase and said, "I don't think so. I'm busy right now." I insisted, saying it would just take a couple minutes and it'd mean so much to my sister. He stared at them, stared awkwardly back at his clients. They said nothing, and he got up after my parents were motioning for me to hurry up. Damn, she ruined a sale. What the hell? He sat with us while my sister blew the candles and cut the cake. My parents insisted he take a piece and join us in the selfie. He got up and walked back to his table looking pissed. We haven't talked till we met later at home. He was upset and started scolding me in front of my parents, saying I embarrassed him. No disrespect, just embarrassed. And made him look unprofessional and ruined his business meeting. I told him he overreacted since it only took a few minutes and it was my sister's birthday and my family wanted him to join since he was literally in the same restaurant. He called me ignorant and accused me of tampering with his work. Okay, well, now you're being a little... come on now. But I responded that ignoring mine and my family's presence was unacceptable. It absolutely is not unacceptable. We argued, then he started stonewalling me. Then he started gaslighting me, chat. Then he... What's another, like, psychological buzzword we could use? He started... I don't know. I can't remember anything. He started self-diagnosing me. FYI, I didn't have an issue with him missing the event, but after seeing he was already there, it became a different story. It took like 5 to 7 minutes. He didn't even eat nor drink, just sat down and watched. Yes. So I get that, like, some people don't understand how, like, a business meeting works, but you don't just, like, get up in the middle of the meeting to go do something else unless you're in, like, a sitcom or a movie or something. All right, let's see what chat has to say, because they probably can weigh in. No, well, not chat. You guys know what I mean. The Reddit crowd. My husband didn't come because he said he had a meeting dinner with some clients. This made my family feel let down, especially my sister who wanted blah, 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 blah. Congratulations to your sister, but work meeting trumps sister-in-law's birthday. If you wanted him there, you should have moved the day to the celebration. My parents asked why he didn't even come to the table or acknowledge them after the cake arrived. Because he was working. You asked, he answered. You should have left it alone. You embarrassed him in a professional setting. Also, he's allowed to have boundaries. No is a complete sentence. My parents insisted he take a piece to join in the selfie. He didn't want to be there. He had a prior commitment. He told you he didn't want to be there. He was upset and started scolding me in front of my parents, saying I embarrassed him. You absolutely did. He called me ignorant and accused me of tampering with his work, but I responded that ignoring mine and my family's presence was unacceptable. You are, and you did. You and your family's response and lack of support is what is unacceptable. You and your parents are adults. It is your jobs to manage your feelings. Your sister's 18, not 6. She should understand, although you typed all this out and still has to ask if you're the asshole. So, yeah, like, so what if he's at the same restaurant? He's still working. Like, what difference does it make? This is like the, I know you're working from home, but can you cook me a meal? Yeah, it is. It's like, no, I'm actually working. Also, I'm not allowed to use the stove anymore after the incident. And there, fortunately, Emmykins, there was no disrespect. It was pretty close though. It sounds like the husband is like too much of an alpha to not to say that someone disrespected him. It's like, listen, I understand it was your sister's birthday. I was working, I was like meeting with important clients. I was trying to like get them to buy our product or whatever happens at business meetings. And then some crazy lady shows up, that's you, and like, come celebrate the birthday with us. I'm making her sound like worse than she may have been, but yeah, I'm gonna go with asshole. Like, no, I can't, I'm working. And then you like stare at the business partners like, can you guys please let him like come play with us? Everybody's an adult there, like who cares? Am I the asshole for telling my mom she only has one kid? I have no mother. My parents divorced when my sister 20F and I 19M were 5 and 6 years old. That math doesn't work out. You have to, I guess you just swap those around. She met her husband 3 years later. He was a widower with a 7-month-old son. I think he was 7 months old when they met. She instantly moved them in and started claiming his son as her own and raising him like us. Yep, that is typically how having stepkids works. She got engaged to him a few weeks before the wedding. Our dad died. Oh, and a few weeks before the wedding, our dad died. Sorry for your loss. By this point, my mom had just become estranged from her entire extended family. Ooh, boy, spicy. She told my dad's parents that if they wanted to see us again soon, they would need to come to her wedding and watch all three of us, including my stepbrother. Like babysit them. Okay. She then told them after the wedding that going forward, if they wanted to see us or spend time with us, they had to include him. Him being the other kid. Okay. Stepbrother. They hadn't wanted to. They tried to argue for time with just us, offering to pay for it all 100%, but mom said no. She said they needed to come to the house and make an effort with all three and not just take two with them. Okay. We haven't got to the part where she only has one kid, but let's keep rolling here. My sister and I would argue with mom over one day in particular, my dad's birthday. We celebrated that every year with dad's family after he died, but she wouldn't even let that day be just us and them. Our stepbrother had to be there. She said they did not get to just be our family, and we shouldn't see him as any less deserving of being present. This is like that time with their post. It was like, you have to include your sister in like all your stuff. It's like it was like two girls from different parents, and then the parents got married, and then they're like, well, you have to include your sister at your birthday party, blah blah blah. You have to like take her when you go to parties or whatever. It's starting to sound like that, but we did. He was not our dad's kid and had never met him, so why was he deserving of being there? I never got that. She called us selfish for the mindset. Last year I turned 18 and moved in with my girlfriend. Congratulations, I guess. Wait, last year I turned 18. Okay, so turned 18 and now he's 19. Got it. This is the guy. I guess I should have read. Be a little more thing. Once I left home, my stepbrother was no longer invited to anything to do with my dad's family. He no longer saw them. My sister and I also stopped spending any time at mom's house. Classy. And then we stopped speaking to them at all. It was quiet for several months, and then last week mom showed up where I work and demanded we talk. Holy cow. That's okay, sort of a nuclear option there. She told me how she was tired of one of her kids being left out, and how sick was it to discard him that way, and why weren't my sister and I advocating for him. I told her she only had one kid, her stepson, and that my sister and I were no longer her kids, and my family were no longer forced to include him to see us, and that it was all her fault for forcing it in the first place. Then I wished her luck, which was kind of sarcastic, not gonna lie, and then asked her to leave. She texted me later that night to say she'd been a good mom to all three of us, and to say she only had one kid was low. Ooh, this is yucky. Rilip says this is another one of those weird step grandparents thing. Just don't have children until your parents are dead. Problem solved. Yeah, that's... Well, yeah, because the mom married another dude who had a kid, so they're not related at all. Like I can't even like justify that. Like if it was her parents, then yeah, I could be like, okay, well this isn't your kid necessarily, but you know, I married this new guy and he has a kid, so he's my stepson. But this is like her dead husband's parents who want to see their grandchildren. They have nothing to do with this third kid. Reddit. She showed up at work. Starshort. Clearly not the asshole. Impossible to convict for murder. No, do not show up at your children's place of business unless it's like a super emergency. Which in this case it was not. Because that's gonna just reflect poorly on it. It's like when the police show up where you work. It's just bad. Like whether it's like good or bad, it's gonna look bad. How do we like qualify this kind of weird family dynamics issue? This is the problem with getting remarried, right? Because if everybody just stayed married, And this would never happen because no one would be able to be like, well, you know, I married this other guy and then but then I liked his parents and then I divorced him, but I still liked his parents. So when I got married again, I was like, hey, this is my new family. Let's all get together except for your son who sucks. That's why I divorced him. And wait, okay, they got divorced before he died. Huh. You get divorced, his parents no longer have to do anything to do with you. That's another good point, I guess. It's just weird though, because you have some kind of relationship with these people by being former in-laws, and then you have kids and they're grandkids, but then you have another kid. It's there's too many degrees of separation. You can't justify it. It sounds like these people just want to not have to deal with their crazy mom anymore. I don't blame them. What does the peanut gallery have to say today? Am I going bananas? Perhaps. OP, you're not the asshole, and I don't know why everyone is saying you are. No one is saying you are. You tried for years to get your mom to listen to you about being forced to include your stepbrother. She didn't listen. And now you're no contact. If she didn't want to lose 2 of her children, she shouldn't have treated them like their feelings didn't matter. Should you have said what you said? Probably not. But if you and your sister are both no contact, it's kind of true, and she'll have decades to rationalize it. Why don't my children ever visit me? I don't know, maybe because you made them go to school and do chores around the house. Now you reap what you sow, mom. Sorry about the judgments here. This was not a mom just struggling with a blended family, ooh woo, like everyone else is saying. No one else is saying that. This was your mom repeatedly trampling your boundaries and including your stepbrother in the only day meant to celebrate your dead dad for years. Some people struggle with blended family. That's what I was looking for. Some people struggle with blending a family. This was just bad parenting. I don't think I've ever heard that term before, but I guess that's exactly what this is. Hey, Rainbow Yeti's here. You missed some beans, but I'm sure we'll get more disrespect as we continue on. This one again goes to everyone is refusing. Well, what's the compromise? Mom says, hey, former in-laws, you have to take all 3 of the kids. And they're like, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to take my son's kids. And she's like, well, then you can't have them. And they're like, okay. It's, I don't know. Sometimes there is no compromise. You can say everyone's refusing to compromise, but if you want 2 completely different things that are mutually exclusive, there is no compromise. You can't cut the kids in half and each group gets half. This isn't a King Solomon situation. Oh, you're having Chinese food? That sounds great. Dude, we used to have a really good Chinese place in town. And then okay, so we had 2 Chinese restaurants in town, right? There was one up on the hill by the Walmart, and there was one downtown by the Glockenspiel. This all makes sense if you know where I live. Anyway, so the one up on the hill closed down because they got raided by ICE and I guess deported. Then the other Chinese restaurant, which was the good Chinese restaurant, moved into the place where the old Chinese restaurant was. But then the food also changed because they changed where they were making it or whatever, and now it's not as good. And so basically all the Chinese places closed because the only one that's open is not as good anymore. But good news, chat. The old Chinese restaurant is now being turned into a steak and burgers restaurant, which is opening in January, and I'm looking forward to trying it out. Anyway, that's my Chinese restaurant story. Emmykins will tell you that she likes Hy-Vee Chinese, Hy-Vee being a Midwest grocery chain. Am I the asshole? We're going on to the next post, by the way. For not giving 24 hours notice to my daughter's roommates before dropping something off. I have no idea. What is the etiquette on that? I'm new to Reddit. But my husband advised that I post here and is helping me write this. Thanks, husband. I am a mother to 2 20-year-old daughter. We're off to a roaring start. She is a junior in college and attends school in the same city that we live. Oh, wait. I am a mother to a 20-year-old daughter, not to 2 20-year-old daughters. They would be twins in that case. She is a junior in college and attends school in the same city that we live. My daughter and 2 of her friends live in a condominium that I own. Her friends pay below market rent while my daughter does not. Wait, what? The condo was inherited from my parents, and it was their intent that I would pass ownership of it to my daughter when she's mature enough to own her own place. Oh, she doesn't pay rent. Okay. I was going to say, she doesn't pay below market rent, so she has to pay full price. But no, it sounds like she doesn't pay rent at all. My daughter, husband, and I are in agreement that she will take over ownership of the condo when she's out of school and financially independent. Earlier this week, my daughter mentioned she'd run out of some household supplies and would have to set aside time to go shopping before the end of the week. My daughter's schedule has been especially rough lately as she has picked up extra shifts at her part-time job due to short staffing, blah, blah, blah. Wanting to be helpful, I offered to pick up the supplies for her and drop them off at her place. She accepted. The next day, I picked up the supplies. She's making it sound like military rations. Sarge, we got the supplies. Where do you want them? And took them to the condo. I knew my daughter was in class, so I knocked, and when no one answered, let myself in. The front door opens into the living room. When I entered, I found one of my daughter's roommates being intimate with a man on the living room couch. Yep, that's awesome. Okay. I was obviously mortified, so I left the supplies at the door and left right away. I didn't say anything to my daughter about what happened because I didn't want to put her in an uncomfortable position. And what's the uncomfortable position? Like, it's your guys' condo. You guys want to fuck on the couch, whatever. I did let her know that I dropped off the supplies. On Friday, I got an angry email from the roommate's parents. Oh, the parents now? I'm not sure exactly what they were told, but their email lambasted me for invading their daughter's privacy. They said that what I did was wrong because I'm their daughter's landlord and I entered the condo without giving 24 hours notice. What's the legal precedent for this? They're threatening to take legal action if I do it again. I'm vaguely familiar with this requirement, but I didn't think it was applicable here. We need to get Ask Legal advice on the phone. Hold on. Somebody get legal advice. Ring, 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 ring. Reddit. Legal advice. What is the rule on this? Was I the asshole in this situation? I feel bad about what happened, but I also don't feel like I was out of line. Edit. My daughter was aware that I was coming to drop off supplies. Stop calling them supplies. And asked that I leave them in the kitchen, which is adjacent to the living room. I am not asking for judgment on whether I violated the law. We'll save that for later. I checked in with a friend who's a lawyer, and he thinks that because my daughter gave explicit permission to enter the home and drop off the supplies, I'm in the clear. All right, update. I called and texted my daughter asking to discuss the situation. She can't speak to me right now because her roommates are fighting and she's mediating. Oh boy, get them out of there. Evict them. But she's aware of the situation and sent me a quick explanation. My daughter had notified all the roommates that I was coming over, but roommate 1 apparently forgot. How convenient. The man she was with was roommate 2's boyfriend. Whoa! Hold the phone. The drama thickens. She freaked out and contacted her parents because she was scared I would spill the beans. I still don't know exactly what she told the parents, but I assume it wasn't the full story. I've never met roommate 2's boyfriend, so I didn't know it was him. Roommate 1 and 2 are fighting now, and needless to say, roommate 1 will be moving out. Wow. Yikes. What an update. We don't usually read the updates, but that was worth it. Not the asshole. You were not entering in your capacity as a landlord, but in your capacity as your daughter's mother, in which case you do not need to provide notice. You also had your daughter's permission. Roommate had no expectation of privacy vis-a-vis her roommates who could have walked in at any time, regardless of whether they had a class scheduled or not. She shouldn't have been doing it on the couch out in the open, unless she's into that kind of thing, in which case, go for it. So yeah, not the asshole. This just sounds like something that would happen in like Seinfeld or something. I was in the pool. The daughter told the roommates, but they apparently forgot. Don't cheat with your roommate's boyfriend. Easy peasy. Whoa, hold on, something jumped up? No, nothing jumped up. I'm seeing ones that I've already looked at apparently, because they're still on here. Like am I the asshole for asking my friend to move a picture And am I the asshole for making my ex a birthday cake? So we're not going to read those because we already read them last one. Go watch the VOD. It's on YouTube if you want to see my reactions to those. But we're going to do this one. Am I the asshole for not doing anything for Christmas? Please capitalize Christmas in the future. This year, and making my husband livid. No Christmas 2022 posted. That's a great username. I hope they keep that around and don't just use it as a throwaway. Here we go. So I'm a stay-at-home mom with 3 kids. Ooh, yikes. I'm sorry. My husband works full-time and gets an okay salary, but he's tightened the grip on spending on the past 4 months. Gee, I wonder why. Because he's got 3 freaking kids and inflation is a real thing. To be able to save up to go watch the football event. The football event? Do you mean the World Cup? He's literally obsessed with anything to do with football. He said he rarely ever gets to do what he wants. Based. Husband is right. So I didn't want to judge him since it's his money eventually. We discussed plans for Christmas and he told me to handle everything since he won't be back till December 20th. Damn, dude. What the heck? You putting an austerity policy on your family while you go watch the World Cup for 2 months? He told me he had put aside money for Christmas decorations, food, gifts, blah, blah, blah. The money in total was $100. Whoa. Okay. Okay, we flip-flop back to husband's the asshole. $100 for decorations, food, gifts, and kids' needs for 3 kids? And that's the entire Christmas budget? We're missing a zero there, I think. That should be at least $1,000. I was completely shocked. I told him $100 for an entire family Christmas celebration was ridiculously not enough. He shrugged, saying it's all he's got, but I pointed out how he's paying for his friends and his girlfriend's travels expense. Oh, come on, man. He told me to just take it. Figure it out. Stretch the budget. For Christmas, you can have a Happy Meal. That's all the food you get all month. That if he decided to leave me with just $100 and I won't be doing anything for Christmas. We had lots of arguments and couldn't get this resolved. So they're using dollars, but this is clearly not the US because she calls it football. So maybe this is Australia or Canada. What else uses dollars, chap? New Zealand. I think that's it. Maybe some other places. He's in Qatar now. He left days ago. So this is from... Dude's in Qatar for a whole freaking month. And he gives his kids $100 for Christmas. The pure insanity. I don't know how the plane took off with that dude's massive balls weighing it down. Yesterday, while I was cleaning, I found an envelope with the same $100 and a note from him telling me to make it work. Just figure it out, wife. Wow. Zimbabwe dollars. 100 Zimbabwe dollars is like nothing. On the husband stuff. I mean, man, you have 3 kids with this guy. You're fucked. I sent him a message that I've decided I won't be doing anything for Christmas with this little money, period. He was livid. He just kept sending an angry message after another, calling me spoiled and telling me to stop expecting to live like I was still living with my parents' house and to stop trying to rob the kids of enjoying the holidays. Bro. God, I'm so mad. And I'm mad at this fake person who took his friend and his friend's girlfriend to Qatar to watch the World Cup and gave his poor wife $100 to last till Christmas. This is so stupid. What the heck, man? Not the asshole. This sounds like financial abuse. Why is it his money when you're in charge of household admin and childcare while he waltzes off with his friends to pay thousands to watch? Okay, well, let's not... I mean, yes, I agree that sports are not for everyone, but hey, everybody has different entertainment desires and wants. So whether they like to watch sports ball or play video games or see movies or go to concerts, that's irrelevant. However, the fact that he's probably spending like thousands of dollars to go see the World Cup and giving his family $100 to like figure it out for Christmas until Christmas and including Christmas. So that's $100 for the decorations. I don't know if $100 will even get you like a tree at this point, let alone ornaments or gifts or food. Dude is insane. Oh boy. We have another asshole, and this one, I don't know what to make of this. Am I the asshole for making a post about my daughter's favorite celebrity being rude to us? This is... So the username is called Am I the Asshole Rude Celebrity? This is a throwaway of some sort. My daughter and I were recently on vacation, okay? We spent the day in an area that's known to have a lot of rich/famous people, and towards the end of the day, we saw one of my daughter's favorite celebrities. We'll call her Taylor S. No. T Swift, walking out of a store. My daughter ran to the store, but when she got near A, she was stopped by A's security. They said that A's there with her daughter for her daughter's birthday and wants to focus on her daughter. That's reasonable. Just because you see like someone famous in public doesn't mean you just get to like run up to them. My daughter was very upset because she's been a fan of A for a very long time, so she tried again for a picture but was turned away. You're not entitled to a freaking picture with someone. Like, hello. Yeah, okay, we're getting into the asshole for sure. My daughter was crushed, so later that night I made a post talking about my experience with... Just fucking say her name, man. You already made the post. She wouldn't let anyone go near her and her daughter. The fact her security was rude, her not being willing to stop for a couple seconds. Guess what? If 100 people come up to you and ask for a picture and it only takes a couple seconds, that's a lot of time that gets eaten out of your daughter's birthday party. A 1-minute interaction with a fan isn't gonna ruin her day. Okay, that's one fan. Let's just pile it on now. She's trying to walk around and get stuff done. Don't mess with a celebrity on their off time. It's not cool. Yeah. So here's the difference between me and like and T Swift over here. If you see me in public and you want to like come up and get a picture or like an autograph or whatever, go right ahead. So you feel free to clip this and like post it in the future if I turn into an asshole. I'm always willing to interact with like anybody. The thing is though, chat, you probably won't ever see me in public because I never leave the house. But anyway, that's besides the point. The post ended up getting a lot of attention, and a lot of people actually said my daughter and I were being entitled. How dare they say that about me and my daughter for expecting A to interrupt her daughter's birthday for everyone that wants a picture. My husband also saw the post and said he couldn't believe that I would bash her trying to spend the day with her daughter. I'm not trying to bash her for spending the day with her daughter. I just want her to spend the day with my daughter, who's been worshiping her for years. But she wouldn't be where she is without her fans. That is true. I think at least she owes it to them to take a picture. That's like the definition of entitlement. Rilip says, we have to wait for you to turn into an asshole. When are you going to start being the nice guy? So what I'm going to do here is... what am I going to do here? I don't know. I thought you were going to say, do we have to wait for you to like get huge on Twitch? I'm like, you might be waiting a while there. Because as I recall from Wednesday, we were not able to generate any kind of situation in which I became a popular large Twitch streamer. It's simply impossible. Unless proven otherwise, you owe no one anything. It's just, I kind of agree with that sentence there. Not the sentence, just this part. She wouldn't be where she is without her fans. That is true. I don't agree with the rest of the sentence, just that one part. And here's why I say that, chat. And because anytime I see a celebrity like bitching about how they like have no privacy and people are always like trying to get pictures and blah, 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 I'm like, yeah, that's why you get paid like millions of dollars. Whereas like Joe something over there, I'm trying to come up with a job that doesn't make it. Joe McDonald's over there is making $15 an hour, maybe if he's lucky. And he doesn't have to deal with any of that shit. So you're welcome to go work like a shitty regular people job and not get paid that much, but you wouldn't like that, would you? So you got to take the good with the bad. You're making the money because you're popular. If you're not popular, you don't make the money. You can't have one without the other. Be civil. That includes Karen. Okay, I guess you can't say Karen on Am I the Asshole? Sotari, we can't say Karen. Listen, it's right there. That girl needs to learn that the world doesn't revolve around her. Kind of the lesson I'm thinking you and your daughter need to learn. TBH. Self-aware wolves. I understand being disappointed, but famous people are still people. 1 minute plus 1 minute plus 1 minute. That's what I was saying. Eventually adds up. You're the asshole. Seriously, you typed all that out and still think you're right? Not even my husband agrees with me. Surely Reddit will. Yeah, never count on Reddit to agree with you on anything unless you're saying like, I hate children or I hate women or something. Is that the you guys can say it in Twitch, it's fine. Yeah, no, it's banned on Reddit. They banned the word Karen because people were using it as an insult. Apparently anything you can use as an insult is banned. So that's a good one. That's a pretty classic. Like, I met this celebrity and they were so rude. They wouldn't let me like take 10 minutes of their time to have a fan interaction on their daughter's birthday. Excuse me. You wouldn't be famous if it wasn't for me. It's like, come on, man. Am I the asshole for telling my niece, my husband, and I... Use commas, please. Am I the asshole for telling my niece, my husband, and I are not going to her birthday because my husband isn't welcome? I mean, that seems like a pretty open and shut case, right? Unless the husband is, like, abusive. Oh, this is a fucking novel. All right, let me take a drink of water. I have been with my husband for 10 years. We've been married for 5 of those years. He has suffered horrific trauma at the hands of his dad. I'm sorry? His parents were married and expecting twins when his mom suffered some kind of hemorrhage and she ended up with eclampsia. My husband's mom and twin sister did not make it, but my husband did after a period of time in the NICU. His dad told him it was his fault that they died. What the fuck, man? Who does that? It's your fault. You were a baby. You had no control over any of this, but it's still your fault. Come on, man. He had grandparents who meant the world to him and tried to shield him from his dad's anger, but when he was 8 years old, they died also. Jeez, man. His father then blamed him. He spent the next 10 years hearing day after day that he was the reason. At no point did he have another person to reassure him it wasn't. When we met, he had just started to heal. He was away from his dad and attending therapy. It was a very big fear of his that what his dad said was true. He's a wonderful man and my nieces and nephews adore him. He was always so good with them and the rest of my family. In January 2020, I was pregnant and we went for a scan where we learned I had miscarried. Maybe it was his fault. As soon as my husband heard this, something inside of him broke. He started to unravel. He was in the middle of a mental health crisis. He was doing this weird manic laugh. There was also okay, come on now. There was also a sob. He ran out of the room. I followed him after him concerned. My mom and sister both work at the hospital. Sister's a nurse while mom worked in the little gift store. Both saw him in this worst moment. They saw as a medical personnel were forced to intervene because he was in the middle of a breakdown, hysterical and totally out of it. He failed his sanity role, I guess. He was totally broken and nothing could reach him. It was the scariest moment of my life, the worst moment of his. And they judged him for laughing. He's having a mental breakdown and he's laughing. Then, when they told the rest of the adults in my family, they also judged him. Dude, this guy just got fucked, like from the beginning. This is awful. All of my family were aware of his history. He told them about it years ago. My husband ended up under the care of a psychiatrist who suggested he needed a lot more help than therapy could provide. Wow. What does that even mean? Instead of understanding, my family no longer wanted him around. They said a man who could laugh at his own wife's miscarriage was not the kind of man they wanted around the kids. I told them I would not leave him behind. My niece is turning 12 this year and is having her first big party since COVID. She called and said she wanted us there, but she hadn't seen us on her mom's list. I told her we wouldn't be able to come and that I was sorry, we both were. She was upset and asked why she never saw us, why we wouldn't come to her birthday party, why we missed them all now. I told her my husband was not welcome by the other adults in the family anymore. She apparently yelled at her parents and mine. Then I got shit from them for telling her what I did. They said I had no business saying that. Am I the asshole? Dude, this is just sad. Not the asshole. Husband's not the asshole. I don't want to judge that too much. That's just fucked up. Okay. You wouldn't go to your niece's birthday, period? Not the asshole? I mean, if it was close by, I guess I might go. But if they're like, can you fly out to wherever and like come to my daughter's birthday because they really want to see you? And I'm like, just put it on FaceTime. It's basically the same thing. I told my cousin the truth. Am I the asshole? You shouldn't have told her that. Yeah, we don't let your husband come to stuff anymore, but you shouldn't be telling people. Am I the asshole? I lied to the people who I was babysitting for to get them to come home. Huh. 16F. I'm 15. Oh, I'm 15 years old and I should not be on Reddit. However, I am, and I babysit to make money. I took a first aid course and a babysitting course. Last weekend, one of my little sister's classmates' parents had a wedding to go to and asked if I would babysit. I asked how late they would need me and if I should pack an overnight bag if they were going to be staying out all night. They said they would be home by midnight, so I checked with my dad if that was okay because he's my ride. He doesn't want me alone in a car with adults that he does not know. But he'll let you go over to their house. Okay, priorities are a little weird there. So you can't be in the car with adults you don't know, but you can be in their house with a small child and like a serial killer on the loose. Because you know that's what's going to happen. My dad was there to pick me up at 11:50. The kids were all asleep and I was watching TV. I texted them at 11 to double that they would be in time. The mom texted me back, yes. 12:30, they still aren't there. I texted again, no answer. I called my dad, he's pissed. Not at me. 1 o'clock, I called him, no answer. My dad went and got a coffee at home and came back. He's all calm. Not good. He's ready to blow. I know my dad, that's what he does. I texted every 15 minutes, no response. 2:20, I texted them that someone tried to break into their garage, but the alarm scared them away. They were home drunk in an Uber in 15 minutes. My dad made their pay me for my extra time before we left. He told me that I'm not allowed to babysit for them again unless I charge them for an overnight stay. Nice. Yesterday at school, I saw the mom when I was picking up my sisters after school. She gave me shit for scaring her and her husband. But they had checked the security cameras and no one tried to break in. I said, sorry, the alarm went off, so I called you. She called me a liar, which is fair, but I don't feel bad about what I did. They lied to me first. My mom says I should have sucked it up, but my dad says they broke our deal. Just leave him. Just like leave the kid at home. Like you said you would be home by midnight, and I left at midnight. I figured you'd be home soon. I don't know. What's the like legality on that? I mean, you're 15. You can't sign a contract. I kind of feel bad for tricking them into coming home, but they could have told me it was an overnight or texted me. Yeah, I could have slept over. That would have been fine. I would have just brought it already. Just have it on you. My mom wanted me to call the police to see if they had been in an accident, but I thought that if they were still at the wedding, it would cause a scene. These people suck. Like, what the hell? Like, just come home. Like, you say you're going to be back by midnight. Don't be, like, irresponsible and not be back by midnight. Not the asshole. The fact the parents said yes, they would be home at 12 and then couldn't respond for 2 hours. This is... So I've told you guys my shitty wedding story, right? Where I went to the wedding and like everybody was drunk and nobody would listen. And I'm trying to like be the voice of reason, like, hey guys, it's getting late. We should probably go home because some of us have to go to the airport in the morning. Like, oh, guys, have some more. Oh, I'm drunk. Whoa. And it's just never again, chap. Never again. Never going to another wedding. Whoa, hold on. Am I the asshole for having a photo of my son's DNA test framed and hanging in the living room? My son's DNA test. It's weird, but okay. Let's take a look. Midnight's already really late for a teenager. I mean, when I worked at McDonald's when I was in high school, I would be out and you're gonna be like, oh, that's too late, because it probably was. But I was up late. Sometimes I was up like really late, and then I'd fall asleep in class because I was really sleepy. And because when I got home from work, I'd be like, well, I went straight from school to work. I didn't get to have any fun today, so let's play games for like 4 hours. And now it's 2 in the morning and I have to get up for school at like 7. I think I'm seeing the problem here. Video, yep. Rainbow Yeti, video games till 2 a.m. Absolutely. Start babysitting drunk people reminded him that he didn't want kids. It just reminded me that I don't like people in general. I don't want to be responsible for anyone but myself, and even then it's pushing it. So here we go. I am 32, met my wife 3 years ago. She is 21 now. We got married 9 months ago. We have a baby boy together that she got pregnant. So that's an interesting new spelling of pregnant. With while we were engaged. My wife used to be a S_X worker. Okay, so she worked on the railroad. No judgment on that, please. Hey, no problem. They're gonna go on strike. It's gonna be great. She did what she had to do to survive. My parents were always being skeptical about her and lots of times asked if I want to settle down with her. Why? Because she works on the railroad? When she got pregnant, they went nuts and demanded a DNA test. They refused to attend the wedding till the DNA test was done, which caused a huge problem. They ended up missing the wedding, obviously. The test was done because my wife wanted to prove a point, and eventually my parents made amends and we reconciled. I simply would not. They started visiting, and yesterday noticed the photo of the DNA test that I hang in the living room. They asked about it, and I told that it serves as a reminder for why they didn't attend my wedding. Okay, that's a little petty. They were stunned and livid when I mentioned that I tell any guests the same thing I told them. Mom and Dad were mad and asked me repeatedly to take it down, saying I'm being too harsh on them and refusing to let go of the past. Sounds like someone else not letting go of the past. As well as embarrassing them to the other family members. I refused to take it down, and I admit being sarcastic in my response, saying it goes with the hoist decor. It must be French. They begged, then refused to come over anymore till I remove it. My brother thinks it's petty and childish. I agree, but also very funny, and said I should take it down. All right, I'm editing some stuff in. First of all, my wife does not mind having the photo up. She laughs about it sometimes, but she's still carrying some hurt that was caused by what happened. And second of all, no, she's no longer does SX work. It's all in the past. Yeah, well, I mean, she's a kid now. She can't be out on the railroad all the time. And did I mention that my brother and I aren't close? He's known as the crackhead in the family. So that's that. We call him crackhead. Sax workers get no respect. Hey, Bill Clinton was a sax worker. So basically, yeah, it's like a parent repellent and just keeps them out of the house. Beautiful. No, not the asshole. Like, it's funny. It's like a funny story. So one of the things that I've noticed now since I started streaming is that I get much less pissed off if something stupid happens to me because I know it's going to make for good content later. And now I think I understand why my parents like made me do stuff that I hated doing as a kid, because they knew that eventually I would become a streamer and I could tell all the stories about all the shitty stuff I had to do as a kid that I didn't want to do. And now I can be grateful for that. Anyway, I'm saving all that for later, so you guys don't get to hear it now. But eventually, it'll come up eventually, I'm sure. That's why Emmy's parents keep throwing... Yeah, that's why her mother-in-law keeps throwing away the dark meat, just so I can talk about it on stream. Because people love hearing that story. How does your wife feel about her past being a continued topic for public conversation? That's really the only thing that matters. Wife is on board. Yeah, whatever. All right. Funny story. Parents need to get over it. Just be like, just laugh about it. She'd be like, haha, yeah, we were so stupid back then. Come on, honey, let's get out of here. This is crazy. Whoa. Oh, we have another asshole here, chat. Am I the asshole for asking my girlfriend to start making me breakfast every morning? I mean, maybe. Reddit seems to think so, but let's be independent judges. Another man child. Listen, my wife makes me breakfast every morning, which at this point now, it used to be like a little more egg and bready, but now it's just cereal, so it's like basically no prep work. She makes oatmeal though, which is nice because I eat that at work. All right, I, 27M, have been living with my girlfriend, 29F, for several months now. Off to a bad start already. For the most part, things are really good, and I plan to propose soon and hopefully have at least a couple kids with her. How does she feel about that? That's not... okay. However, we've run up against a conflict. She's an absolute morning person. I hate mornings and Mondays, and I love lasagna. By the time I force myself out of bed in the morning and into the shower, she's already been up for at least 30 minutes, even though she has to be at work later than I do, and it's at the stove making breakfast. She likes a huge breakfast in the morning. She usually has eggs. Oh, okay, nice. Eggs, French toast, or pancakes. Every day? Hash browns, or breakfast potatoes, and sausage or bacon? Holy cow. Sometimes on weekends it's ham or steak. Is she single? She eats almost nothing for lunch and usually has a smallish dinner, but she loves a huge breakfast. I don't know if I could go that far, but Meanwhile, I only ever have cold cereal for breakfast, or maybe if I'm feeling really ambitious, some instant oatmeal or orange juice. And orange juice. I only even start to come alive halfway through my second cup of coffee. Okay. So chat, word of advice here. If you don't drink coffee, you won't rely on coffee to live. Hear me out. I know you think you need coffee to like exist in the real world, but I don't drink coffee, and I stay up late and I get up early and I feel a little cranky in the morning and I'm like tired, but I get out of bed and I go through my routine and I go to work and I interact with people, and I don't have to be like, don't talk to me till I've had my coffee, because I don't have coffee. I just live my life. So I know this guy didn't ask in chat, you don't care, but just lay off the coffee. Your life will be better off. Emmykins can vouch for this. I got Emmykins to stop drinking caffeine, and I assume she feels better. I don't know. She seems to think that it's better now. And I definitely don't feel like cooking in the morning. However, my girlfriend obviously does. Well, obviously, I mean, she's a woman. She's gonna have a bunch of kids. So recently I asked her if she'd start making breakfast for me too. She asked if we were going to trade off and I'd sometimes make breakfast for her too. I told her no, but reminded her that I do often make dinner for her. Okay. She said that since we trade off making dinner, we should trade off making breakfast too. I told her there's no way I'll ever be able to muster that kind of energy first thing in the morning, but that since she obviously can, that she should just make me breakfast too. I said that it would take next to no extra effort on her part to throw in a couple more eggs, strips of bacon, an extra portion of hash browns, etc., since she's already doing it for herself anyway, but it started a fight, with her saying it wasn't fair for me to expect her to think of me in the morning since I don't do the same for her. I mean, he's not wrong. Like, making 4 eggs versus 2 eggs, there's not a whole lot of extra prep work that goes into that. Same goes for the other stuff. I mean, maybe the pancakes will take a little longer. She seems to think that her making breakfast for me should figure into our division of labor. It should, and I should do something extra in return. You should, if that's how your like household chores breakdown is differentiated or whatever. I think that since she makes a huge breakfast for herself every morning anyway, that throwing an extra portion of whatever she's making on for me would take next to no extra effort on her part. I mean, he could just do the thing where he's like, okay, I made breakfast and it's just like a bowl of Cheerios or something. That's what I would have had if I had made it, so I guess we're just having cereal. Sounds like she makes dinner more often too. I think you want the breakfast, you gotta pay like on the back end, right? You gotta be like, okay, you make the breakfasts, I'll make more dinners, plus I'll do something else. Like we can work out an equitable agreement on this. But yeah, the at least a couple kids with her, nobody asked, dude. He should offer to make dinner every night. She makes breakfast every morning. He wants a benefit without losing anything. Oh, somebody cooks, somebody does dishes. That's another option. He could do like another chore. I don't know what their living arrangement is like, but I don't know that I'd call him an asshole. I think that's a little harsh. I guess in the dichotomy of asshole, not the asshole, he's more on the asshole side. But I think he's just like, I think he's dismissing the fact that she puts in a lot of effort to make breakfast and just being like, oh, well, you can just make some extra for me too, right? It's like, well, yes, I can, but it's like a lot of work for me to get up and make breakfast every morning. So if I'm also going to include you on this deal, then maybe we can make it more equitable or whatever. This doesn't stop with breakfast. See, this is why in my house, this doesn't work for everybody, and I guess Emmykins can weigh in on this. I go to work and I make the money and I stream and I make no money, and Emmykins does everything else. I am responsible for bringing in the money and I guess doing like a couple of like administrative chores, and she handles everything else. And then sometimes if she needs like me to move something heavy, that's me. Philip says, in 5 years, this man baby will have another post about how she left him with nothing but food in the fridge and he almost died. Yeah, that was one of the posts that we read, right? My girlfriend went on a 2-week vacation and she only left the food. She only left some food in the fridge and she expects me to survive. I had to order DoorDash because I don't know how to cook. The first response is, you're the asshole, LMFAO. Oh, so we'll take turns making breakfast for each other. Oh no, you'll just make food for me. It's no extra effort for you anyway. The cheek on you. Dude should have offered to make dinner. There we go. See, these people are on it. You should make dinner every night if you wanted to make breakfast every day. He'd probably make a can of soup and still manage to leave a sink full of dishes. You're talking about proposing in kids. Will she never get a morning off from kids because you hate mornings? She's already up so she could be the one to pack bags and lunches and cook everyone's breakfast. She's breastfeeding, so you never need to cover the night wake-ups. Yeah, I mean, having a kid just like fucks up your whole dynamic anyway, so I would recommend against it personally. Satari says, I have to say this doesn't sound like a good relationship, more like a living arrangement. He wants a bang maid, I think, is what he's looking for. It's a maid you can bang. Which, let's be realistic here, if you had a maid you could bang, that'd be pretty awesome, but most women aren't going to go for that arrangement. They want something a little extra. They want like commitment and stuff. It's crazy. Am I the asshole for not letting my husband sit with us during girls' night in? No, I mean, it's girls' night in. My husband, 35, is disabled. He's in a wheelchair and is home 24/7. That's unfortunate. Does he have access to the internet? Because he needs me around to assist him, I'd have him and his chair nearby while I do laundry or cook or clean. He's with me most of the time, except for when I go to the bathroom, but even then he complains about being away from me for so long. Dude, I don't even go shopping. Everything gets delivered to our home. What kind of wheelchair is this guy in? Holy cow. I haven't seen my girlfriends for a while and have arranged to start having girl night ins at my place since I can't be away from home, especially at night. I asked my husband for some privacy when my friends come, and he took it badly. Took it as in I was annoyed and bothered by him. I assured him it wasn't like that. He said if it's true, then I'd let him sit with us during girls' night in. Bruh. Read the fucking room. That's not how this works. I absolutely refused and tried explaining that my friends and I need privacy, and this is the only time we get to spend together. I also explained that having him sit with us would ruin the purpose of girls' night in. Yes. He threw a hissy fit. Man, I don't care if this guy's in a wheelchair. Knock him over. This is ridiculous. He called me selfish and rude for refusing. He started giving me the cold shoulder. I mean, it's not like he can walk away, right? Saying until I agree to include him, he will not be speaking to me. Dude's 35. How long has he been in a wheelchair? Being in a wheelchair does not make you act like this. Yeah, it's not. He just sounds like a man baby. I would love it if Emmykins got out of the house more. But usually she's here. I mean, mostly because she has to moderate these streams. And by moderate, I mean watch and talk and chat sometimes. Because since she can't actually do moderating on her tablet. More context. I haven't gone out in a while. I haven't seen my friends or even family in a while because he wouldn't go with me and also refuses to stay home with someone else to look after him. Is this a husband or is this like a baby that you have to take care of? He wouldn't let me be out of sight for more than a few minutes. I sometimes have to bring him near the bathroom so he could wait for me with the door open if I'm taking more time. Holy shit. He isn't sociable by nature, so he doesn't have friends. I can't imagine why. How did you find this guy? The only two friends he had showed their true color after he became disabled. They showed their true color after he became disabled? Or he was like insufferable and they're like, yeah, dude, we're out. This dude, no joke, sounds like a dog. Like he's like whining by the door, the bathroom door. It's like scratching at the bottom. Like, come on, you've been in there for so long. Come on, just open the door. About the girls' night in issue, he said he would not let my friends in if I continue to exclude him. Jesus Christ, dude. Not the asshole. He's using his disability to guilt trip you into having no friends or time for yourself. It is unbelievably creepy and wrong. He complains about you having bathroom breaks. He is toxic and controlling. This is ridiculous. Like, what the heck? He is isolating and punishing you. He's gaslighting you? Something else? I don't know. This, man. I hope Emmykins isn't like, well, Starshard's exactly like that. Maybe I should post on Am I the Asshole? All right, we're almost through the first page, chat. We might just wrap it up after the first page, depending on how long these next ones take. Am I the asshole for telling my fiance's family that he's unemployed after they kept implying that I was a gold digger? Now, I ain't saying she's a gold digger, but let's find out. So my fiance, M33, comes from a well-off family. I, F29, come from a working-class family, which means we work for our living, whereas he well-offs for a living. My fiance's family are nice, but they can't help throwing comments at me about how I might be a gold digger. For example, if he buys me something, they'll go, "Oh, Jason bought you that? You know what this looks like, right?" What is my, like, I need like a obnoxious rich person. "Oh, Jason bought you that? You know what this looks like, right?" And or, "Wait, Jason paid for this? Only gold diggers make their partner pay for stuff all the time. Just saying." It's so demeaning, and my fiance does nothing to stop it, because he agrees with them. Especially now that he's in a bad place in life after he lost his job. And since he's keeping it secret, then I'm the one paying for everything. This has been going on for 4 months. Dude, just dump him. Like, who cares? Just don't read the post from throwaway account Emmykins23. Okay, I'll watch out for that. Last week, his parents invited us for dinner and he insisted that we go, so we went. At dinner table, his mom grabbed my hand literally while I was eating and looked at my bracelet and went, "Oh, this bracelet looks really nice. Did Jason pay for it?" I nodded and reminded her that he bought it for me as a birthday gift last year. She was like, I wonder how much this cost. She then leaned back and said, "You know, I remember when my brother was dating this gold digger woman. She'd receive expensive stuff like this," pointing at the bracelet. "Bracelet here for her birthdays." I was stunned. I cut her off and asked if she meant to say that I was a gold digger. She threw her hands up and went, "I mean, if the shoe fits." Silence took over. I looked at my fiance and he shook his head at me like, "What?" I snapped. I told her it was bold of her to imply I was a gold digger when I'm literally providing for her unemployed son, have been for 4 months now. They all look shocked. She glanced at me in shock, and his dad asked if it was true, and my fiance just froze but looked so angry. An argument ensued. Nobody says that. Say they argued and we left dinner early because there was like a lot, it got really awkward. And dinner was cut short. We had to leave after they started berating him. He had a rage fit in the car, just yelling and lashing at me. He's gaslighting her, champ. Rilip slapped the nuggets out of their hands. Good call. Get those nuggets out of there. I didn't mean to scream at my mom like that, but I was just so angry. In my defense, I said that he sat by and let his mom continually, that was a good attempt at trying to spell continually, imply that I was a gold digger. And he said that they never outright called me a gold digger. All right, asshole. When someone says if the shoe fits, it means they're calling you whatever they're saying. All right? Just because they don't say, I think you are a gold digger, it doesn't mean they're not like, ugh. Just break up with this guy. He's an asshole. Like, what the hell? Here's what I don't understand. Ladies, you find these guys where, I don't know where you find them. You find them someplace. I don't know where people meet people. You like get to know them. They're total assholes, enough that you have to go post on Reddit about it. You're like, what happened to all the dice guys? You know, it's like they're probably out there somewhere. They're not posting on Reddit, I guess. Blah, 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 blah. He said I still had no right to take advantage of his unfortunate circumstance to get back at his mom and expose him to the family. How about you get a job? His parents went on about how disappointed they were, and now as a result, he got disinvited from Thanksgiving. Oh no. I feel like if you come from a well-off family, like, it shouldn't matter if you have a job or not, right? I think that's kind of how that works. If you have to work to have money, then you're not really that well off. He blew up at me because of it this morning and kept saying I screwed him over so badly when he was just an innocent bystander. He was just bystanding there while his mom berated his poor girlfriend and accused her of only dating him for his money, of which he now has none. So, standard Reddit response, break up with this man. Not the asshole. I think you should uninvite your fiance from your wedding. Ooh, that's good. That's a new one. He doesn't have your back. He's willing to lie to his family for months to protect his reputation. He's going to be willing to lie to you too. And this won't be the last time he blames you for the faults and actions of himself and others. Should some people just like be cut off from like getting married? Is that how this works? Because it seems like, well, I mean, what do you do with all these people? All the Am I the Asshole people? You put them on their own continent and they have to like mate with themselves? I'm gesturing at the camera despite the fact the face cam isn't on. I'm just practicing, I guess. Because I feel like this woman who seems reasonable could probably find someone who's more reasonable like herself, and then maybe the asshole guy from this one could go marry the asshole woman, or maybe someone with like 3 kids, and then they can get in like a weird blended family situation and like keep them separated. Just keep the whole idea. That's how we got Australia. Good point, Rilip. That is how we got Australia, and that explains so much. Marriage is an outdated institution that isn't practical anymore. That's an option, I guess. I mean, you still have to provide some kind of legal framework for like child rearing, I guess, unless we're just gonna grow everybody in pods and distribute them out. That's the plot of The Giver, right? Yeah, I got something to give her. Am I the asshole? This is the last one on the page, chat, and maybe the last one of the night. Am I the asshole for pretending not to know my fiance after she had a meltdown during boarding the plane and was eventually thrown off? She had a meltdown, huh? Let's find out about this meltdown. This sounds great. This is from 8 days ago by deleted. Ooh. All right. I imagine I'm going to get raked over the coals for this one. Oh boy, Chad, I really did it this time. So my fiance is the E one, the guy or the girl? I know Hex told me before, but I always forget. Maybe not for much. Oh, she had a meltdown, so it's the girl one. Maybe not for much longer, and I were on our way back from a vacation recently. It was a great time, and everything went off without an issue. That is, until we started boarding the plane. Now, I know better. I only bring a small backpack with essentials in case I don't get my checked bags. I can survive out of this backpack, and it will always pass baggage check for size and weight. Done a lot of traveling, so why fight the system? Dude, excellent. Always, if you have traveled a lot by plane, you know what to do. My fiance didn't want to listen to my advice and chose to bring a basically regular full-size bag that barely fits the standard of carry-on. Yep, don't do that. But generally speaking, the airline worker doesn't want to deal with the trouble and allows it through. But this time, the airline worker was not having it. It was a packed flight, we were boarding last in economy, and it was just a shit show. I got through just fine first with my little backpack, but I could hear the argument from boarding tunnel thingy. It's called a jetway, for those of you wondering at home. And it was getting heated. I was about to go back and try to smooth it out, but my fiance rushed past and just boarded plane. I assume, not having heard it super clearly, that the attendant had given in and let her on. That was not the case. Oh, are they gonna pull her off the plane? This is gonna be great. So we found our seats and settled in. I was pretty tired and I could tell she was upset. So I just kind of tucked into the window and put my hat down and tried to take a nap. But soon after, the airline worker and a cop shows up, and they are not fucking around and want her off the plane. Ooh. She tries to plead and cry, but they are not having it. And maybe in a moment of panic or just plain self-preservation, the cop asks if we're together, and I blurt out, no. No, I do not know this woman. Yep, the air marshals have arrived, Rilip. They're here. I got kill dagger eyes from her as she shot up and grabbed her bag and followed the cop out. Holy shit. This is great. She was also swearing and screaming the whole way out. Dude, it's a fucking plane. It's not that hard. Now, obviously, this is well after the event I'm posting this, but when she did eventually get home, she caught next flight out with bag checked. She had to take another flight. I was there to pick her up. She obviously thought I was the asshole, and to be honest, almost everyone I know thinks I'm an asshole except my boss and coworkers, who, for context, were very much relying on me to get back in time, which I gave my word I would for a really important project that was time sensitive. They were all very happy I didn't get thrown off too. So am I the asshole for this self-preservation? Maybe not for much longer, huh? He's the asshole, but that's hilarious, so Rilip will allow it. I don't know, man. I would have been like, we're not together, and just did a just married situation and broken up with her, like right there. Like, we are no longer getting married. Good luck finding a way home, I guess. I don't know if she can't even like follow basic airline instructions. Do I want to marry this woman? Probably not. This is why I don't take Emmykins on flights with me, because I know it's going to be like a huge hassle. So what do we got? What does chat say? Not chat. You guys know what I mean. The Reddit post, the commenters. Not the asshole. Get out while you still can. This is how she'll be forever. She'll never learn from this experience. Disagree. Nothing like the humiliation of a cop escorting you off a plane to learn that rules really are a thing. Loss of time, money, and public humiliation are very powerful teachers. Or she could double down and be like, everybody is against me. The entire world is out to get me, and I'm going to continue being insufferable. Either way, maybe don't marry her. If Star ends up bludgeoned in his sleep with a sock full of oranges, Rilip saw nothing. I'm just telling everybody that I don't take Emmykins with me because I know it's going to be like a pain in the butt because she's got a lot of bags. Honestly, I was ready to rake you over the coals, as foreshadowed in the first sentence. But now I'm thinking, not the asshole. This isn't like your fiance had an anxiety attack over fear of flying. It sounds to me like a full-on grown woman temper tantrum, which only happened because she didn't listen to your travel advice. Yeah. It's not that hard. Just check your bags, man. If they're big. Not the asshole, and please seriously consider whether you want events like this to be a normal part of your life, because someone who reacts like that when she knows she's in the wrong is not going to change. She's gonna go to she's gonna like go to the Target customer service counter and like shout at someone because they either A, didn't accept her expired coupons, or B, would not take a return from an item that was not sold at Target. That's true. Emmykins has been pretty good at flying. I think she just doesn't like to leave Cat at home by himself, because then he's like lonely. You're feeding me bell peppers tomorrow? Oh, great. I mean, if you can sneak them into my food in a way where I'm not going to be able to taste them, then that's a pretty impressive, actually. All right, so let's run the top back. Let's check the next page, see if we see anything really good. There's a lot of assholes on this. Holy cow. Am I the asshole for telling my wife she can stay home this Thanksgiving? Am I the asshole for crashing my wife's birthday party and taking her home? Am I the asshole for kicking a girl I didn't know out of my wedding? Hold on. Is this a wedding crasher situation? I want to see this. It's going to be stuffed bell peppers. Please, no. No bell peppers. My husband and I, both 27, got married a few weeks ago, and he obviously is he's still upset about it. He's still upset about getting married a few weeks ago. But I don't think I was wrong, so I thought I would ask here. We only gave +1s to married couples. Ooh, boy. Well, that was a mistake. My husband has one childhood friend that was coming from out of state to attend. I met him a bunch, but only his girlfriend at 3 years a few times because of the distance. I didn't want to give him a +1. What do you mean you didn't want to give him a... Why not? Who cares? You're already spending $40,000 on a wedding. What's one more person? My husband begged since he was traveling and didn't know anyone else at the wedding. He didn't want him to be uncomfortable or have to travel alone. I said fine, just to make him happy. Flash forward to the reception. I see him with some girl I have never seen before. I asked husband what was up, and he told me that his friend and his GF broke up a few days before the wedding, and since he already RSVP'd us too, he brought a friend with him. That's reasonable. I was pissed since I made an exception for him and didn't want anyone random at my wedding. Wow. I had one of my bridesmaids go to him and tell him he could stay, but can his date please go back to the hotel? This is a private event. Damn, that's cold. Wow. He said okay and didn't make a fuss, but he left with her and didn't come back. I thought everything was fine and had a great night. My husband found out about it the next day and we got in an argument. Dude, it's one day too late. He could have avoided all of this. No hot unmarried chicks. Yeah, what was the one? Where it's like no one at the wedding is allowed to like wear jewelry or anything that's not like a brown paper sack. He's mad because his friend traveled and I kick him out without talking to him. I didn't kick him out, just his date. What do you mean you didn't kick him out, just his date? Like, you can stay, but your date has to leave. Like, he would be the asshole if he stayed. Are you kidding? Now it's a few weeks later. My husband still brings it up from time to time and his friend hasn't been answering his text. I kind of feel bad, but it was my wedding and I didn't want any strangers there. Still time for an annulment. Maybe they didn't consummate the marriage yet. I wouldn't. Not if she kicked out my best friend. I don't want anyone random at my wedding. Who cares? It's a wedding. You literally know everyone at the wedding. You're the asshole. What was the actual harm of this person being there at that point? He had a +1 and it's unlikely he knew you and gave him a dispensation on your special day. This comes off as power hungry and controlling. You responded to perceived rudeness with the ultimate rudeness. You kicked someone out, which, come on, you knew her date was gonna follow, so you booted your husband's friend. You're a ginormous asshole. You're the asshole. And she did it sneakily behind her husband's back because she knew he would object. Definitely not trustworthy. That is, yeah, that's like brutal. What the heck, man? Do we want to look at crashing my wife's birthday party? Sounds interesting. My wife turned 30. I'm 26. All right, so when she was 18, you were 14. No big deal. No, that's totally normal. We've always had a strong relationship, and I love her so much. She's friends with my mom. My wife has a best friend from childhood, Jimmy. He used to beat me up in school. I didn't know him that well, but this year we've gotten to know each other and have gotten close. He's my best bud and like an older brother to me in a lot of ways. He gives me noogies and good time. Is it? Yeah, no, it's not the same lady, but it was a similar one. Compromise. The fact you must know everyone at the wedding means you actually only invite your friends and family. Which is, but then yeah, your husband also gets a say, right? Like he gets to invite his friends and like they get +1s because going to a wedding alone, unless you're like totally cool with being single, is like shitty. Oh, so she had like piercings and tattoos and she was like wearing like a fancy uniform or whatever. I don't know. I don't remember the full story, but yeah. Just a lot of bridezillas around. My wife goes all out for my birthday parties, and I love them. She's more of a stoic introvert, so I thought it would be nice to throw her a surprise 30th birthday with just her and me and make it a special event. I wanted to make her a gift she would love. Jimmy's an incredible artist, and for the past 2 months, I've been taking lessons from them. My wife was curious why I was spending so much time away from home with Jimmy, but I made vague excuses because I couldn't tell her I was making a gift for her. She's made a couple comments, but never seemed upset. I told her a week before her birthday that I had made plans with Jimmy. I have a job with flexible hours, so it's not uncommon for me to do it. She wasn't upset or anything. When her birthday came, it was all I could do not to say anything. When she left for work, I put my plan into action. I decorated the place. Is this Mr. Peanut Butter's account? This is Mr. Peanut Butter. I brought out the cake I learned from YouTube and stored it at our friend's house. I got a dozen bouquets of flowers. I got her a few other gifts too. She was supposed to come home at 5:30, but she didn't. I waited hours for her, but she didn't come home. I called Jimmy. He said he hadn't seen her. I called her and she didn't pick up. I checked her location. Creepy. And she was at a restaurant. I went to the restaurant and she was there with her friends. They were eating a birthday cake and she had presents. I had never met these friends of hers before. I think they're from her work. She seemed sad. She wasn't smiling or energetic. I wanted to take her home and show her my gift so she would be happy. I came over to her and told her she had to come home. We grabbed her things and left. On the Uber back, she didn't say anything. At home, she started crying. What the fuck, dude? She has been sleeping on the couch and she avoids me. My wife hasn't talked to Jimmy either. I told my mom and she called me an asshole. I think your mom's right, dude. We've always had a strong relationship and I love her so much. So I'm having a hard time like understanding the events here. So she doesn't like, she's more of a stoic introvert, so I thought it would be nice to throw her a surprise 30th birthday party with just her and me. Okay, so it's not really like a big birthday party, it's just like the two of them. This is another weird one because it's hard to say. Like from this guy's own description of what happened, he comes off as like at least clueless, if not like deliberately asshole-ish. Don't just drag her out of the restaurant. Like she looked so sad. I wanted to take her home. Here's what I would have done. And I would not do this because the idea of like planning a birthday party seems like excessive to me personally. I would not have been like, I have plans with Jimmy for your birthday. I would have been like, hey, so you know how I've been spending a lot of time with Jimmy recently? Well, I've been working on a really special surprise for your birthday. So I'm super excited for you to get home tonight because we're going to have like a fun time. And then, first of all, fuck surprise birthday parties. Do not surprise me. I would like to know in advance. You can explain you had it all set up when she gets home and looks like the martyr instead of an ass. No, I wouldn't do that. You want to get this out of the way like ahead of time. You don't want to be like, I was waiting for you to get home from work so we could celebrate your birthday, but you never came home. Because, yeah, now you're still the asshole because you didn't make plans. No, don't surprise. Do not surprise anyone. Just be like, hey, I hope you're ready for your super awesome birthday bash. Don't forget, tonight at 5:30. Be there or be square. Oh, yeah. So what does Reddit have to say? You're the asshole. You didn't use the critical piece of a surprise party planning where you have her home at a certain time for a good reason. You just made it look like you were blowing her off and she made other plans. Yeah, kind of important. A critical piece of surprise party planning is kind of, yeah, very important. The undertone is that Jimmy is gay and the wife thinks they're having an affair. Oh, I didn't even think about that. You honestly just made it look like you remembered her birthday at the last minute and went overboard to try to make up for it. And instead of apologizing, you forced her to appreciate your thoughtfulness. See? Do you see the lengths that I went through? Yeah, so interesting one. Weird and interesting. Just remember, if you're throwing a surprise party, make sure they have a reason to be home at a certain time on their birthday or the day of the surprise party. Am I the asshole for letting my mother have a copy of the key to our new home despite my wife's objection? We don't even have to read that one. That is a big old asshole there. Am I the asshole cheating to get a promotion? Assuming you're not cheating on your spouse, so probably fine. Am I the asshole for returning my husband's birthday gift? Oh, this one. We read this one, didn't we? Did we not read this one? Am I the asshole for returning my husband's birthday gift to pay for the birthday cake my daughter baked after he refused to pay her? I feel like we did. Am I the asshole for uninviting my future sister-in-law for my wedding after she told my fiance I was pregnant? Maybe. Oh, everyone. That's got an everyone sucks. Am I the asshole for accepting my family's Christmas invitation despite my husband being upset? Am I the asshole for not letting my daughter have locks for her room? Whoa. My 43F daughter, Lara, of Tomb Raider fame, 17F, has been struggling to focus on her studies with her brothers Kyle, 12M, and Ryan, 9M, constantly disrespecting. Why did I read this one, chat? Why did I read this one? Oh boy. Good night, Sartari. If you don't get back in time for this, although it looks like we're going into overtime because somebody just got disrespected. I didn't even see that coming. A few days ago, she was yelling for Kyle to come to her room. I asked her what happened. She explained that Kyle flipped all her items upside down. I called Kyle to come and flip everything right side up. Dude, what a weird thing to do, but I guess he's 12, so it makes sense. Yesterday, Ryan was running into her room and kept stealing her stuff while she ran to get them back. Dude, these kids, man. On the night of the same day, Lara was trying to sleep when her brother suddenly barged in and ran through it, resulting in her screaming at them to stay out and close the door while she was sleeping, to give a few examples. Okay. All right, we have established the context. Daughter is having issues because her obnoxious brothers are constantly disrespecting her privacy. Today in the morning, her father, 48M, so when he was 18, she was, hold on, let me do some math here. She was 13. No, that's not weird at all. That's totally normal. That's a totally normal relationship for someone to have. Today in the morning, her father told her he didn't like the way she was screaming. She said that she was trying to sleep and her brothers were making all kinds of ruckus. He told her that they are kids and they will learn. How about they learn now because you're their father and you're going to teach them? She said they will never learn and the only way for them to learn is to have locks installed for her room. He did not want her to, and they went back and forth on this until she threatened she would move out as soon as she became financially independent, since she wasn't going to wait for them to mature and they should already know to respect her privacy, to which he said to wait to include me in the conversation. Good call. So make your mother handle it. Why are you comparing adults to their teenage years? Because age differences don't go away just because you've put another 30 years on top of it. That's not how this works. That's still a huge 5-year gap in experience, power dynamics, maturity. And I don't know. What if it was like my 22F husband 76M is it blah blah blah. You would think that's insane. But sure, but it's fine if it's like, oh, well, it's only 5 years, like no big deal. This evening, no wait, hold on. I overheard, and when she went to her room, I told her she wasn't going to have locks set up because she already wastes her time without the need for locks, and I don't want her to fail. Wow, thanks, Mom. Lara said that they were never going to listen without them, and I told her I would make sure they wouldn't enter her room. Okay. All right, fair. We compromised, right? You can't have locks on your door because we're insane and we wouldn't want anyone to have privacy. But in exchange, we will teach your brothers to respect your privacy without the locks. This evening, I heard her shouting for me. We were all in the living room. Her father explained what was going on. Lara said that she was making Kyle tea. When he did, he's not allowed to do. She was making Kyle tea. When he did, he's not allowed to do. She said that she was going to tell on them, and he said that if she promises to not tell... Wait, what? Lara said that she was making Kyle tea. When he did, he's not allowed to do. Am I crazy? What the hell what's going on here? She said she was going to tell on them, and he said that if she promises not to tell, he and Ryan will never go into her room again. She didn't say anything, so they ran upstairs to her room. Why is there tea involved? Listen, Hex, I have issues with age gaps. I don't like them. It's a personal preference. I would not be in a romantic relationship with anyone outside of like a 1-year bubble of my age. I guess if you can overcome it, I don't know, it just seems weird. I wouldn't want to date someone old enough to be my dad. I wouldn't want to date someone old enough to be my child. So, I mean, I guess there's more than like a 1 year in there, but it's still weird. Yeah, Redditor had a stroke, which is causing me to have an aneurysm, Relief says. I just don't... Why is there tea? She was making Kyle tea. When he did, he's not allowed to do. She said that she was going to tell on them, and he said if she promises to not tell, he and Ryan will never go into her room again. She didn't say anything, so they ran upstairs to her room. I told her she has no right to complain since she always sleeps in Kyle's room after school. Her brothers all agree and Lara calls all of us... What do you mean she always sleeps in Kyle's room after school? Her brothers all agree and Lara calls all of us the worst. None of us are allowed in her room and leaves. She comes back after a minute and says she only sleeps in Kyle's room because he never uses it aside from sleeping at night, and if he was to use it for studying, then she would never go there. Meanwhile, they constantly disturb her, mess with her stuff, and made her unable to sleep just last night. I told her if they ever go into her room, she needs to go to me. Then Kyle starts saying that they had the right to go into her room while she was trying to sleep because they were playing. Hold up. No, you don't. Lara yelled at him and then said she couldn't wait to move out because she no longer has to deal with them. She called me an awful mother for not giving her bedroom locks. You're an awful mother for more reasons than that. Holy shit. You're the asshole. And what exactly are you doing to stop your sons acting like assholes? They wreck her room, ignore her right to privacy, and barge in when she's sleeping. What exactly have you done to impress on your sons that this behavior is not acceptable? She's waiting for them to grow out of their asshole behavior. Here's the thing about growing out of asshole behavior. It requires like learning. And if no one teaches you, you don't learn. You don't just... It's not just something you pick up, right? Yeah, you don't... A 17-year-old deserves privacy. Why is your inability to keep your younger kids under control her problem? Either get her a lock or parent your sons. Don't expect to have a relationship with her after she gets out. Boy. Why on earth are you allowing your younger children to act like that? You're the asshole. I'm pretty sure well, no, my lock didn't have a door when I was in high school. It was really awkward. I have a story, but I'm not going to tell it on this stream. Maybe in the future we'll have a story about that. You're the asshole. Parent your children. You're the asshole. Y'all let your boys do whatever and blame her for it. Maybe the reason she gets bad grades is because she doesn't get enough sleep and can't concentrate. They're also raising boys with zero accountability for their actions and blaming the girl for overreacting when her boundaries are crossed. Dude, yeah, this is fucked, man. Anyway, I gotta eat a bean because we had a disrespect. So let's have another bean, huh? Yeah, no, my lock did not have a door. I wish it had a door. It would have saved me some embarrassment. Anyway, let's eat a bean. We'll worry about that later. Well, now we got 2. Shake it up, shake it up. Rainbow Yeti. Hogging out. All right, here we go. We got another booger or juicy pear. I'm hoping for juicy pear. Nope, it's booger. Yuck. Yuck. Oh, the pear was so much better than this. Ugh. Gross. I've been eating more boogers than kids lately. Oh, than your kids. Okay. Well, I mean, don't eat boogers. It doesn't benefit you in any way. They don't taste good. So why would you do it? What a weird thing to do. Ugh. Gross. All right. We're back in. We're back in. Let's do one more. Let's finish strong. Let's find like the best one on this page. Am I the asshole? Hold on. We just did this one, the lock one. Am I the asshole for having my daughter's first birthday the same day as my stepsister's wedding? All right. This combines a lot of awesome things. Let's check it out. My mom got remarried after my parents' divorce, and her new husband brought along my stepsister. Okay. I lived with my dad mostly because I did not want anything to do with this new sibling and had pretty much no relationship with her and hated that my mom treated her like a daughter. Why do you care? I wasn't the nicest to her, but I felt like she was taking my place. Oof. Wow, okay, that's a paragraph. Do the beans have a toe jam flavor? No. And Vulcan, if you haven't heard these flavors before, I'll run through all of them real quick. This is for everybody. So we have liver and onions or cappuccino. We have old bandage or pomegranate. We have rotten egg or buttered popcorn. Toothpaste or berry blue. Barf or peach. Stink bug or toasted marshmallow. Booger or juicy pear. Dirty dishwater or birthday cake. Stinky socks or tutti frutti. And dead fish or strawberry banana smoothie. Naturally and artificially flavored. I'd hate I'm not sure that I would want naturally flavored barf beans, but yeah, there was in the old Bernie Bott's flavored beans, every flavored beans, there was a grass one. Yes, they had like dirt and just like weird stuff. Fast forward to now, she's getting married and I wasn't invited since we have no relationship. Whatever, I didn't invite her to mine either. Okay, so it's mutual disrespect, I guess. The issue is I planned my daughter's first birthday, and when I told my mom, she said it can't be that day because it's my stepsister's wedding. And can we change it to the next weekend so people don't have to choose which to go to? What do you... Is this like a cultural thing? Like you pick the day of your daughter's first birthday? Because that's kind of like already set depending on when they were born. I said no, my stepsister's wedding is at 8 p.m. My daughter's party is at 1. People can do both. No, that's not happening. Almost everyone on my mom's side RSVP'd no to her birthday party because of the wedding and travel. Yeah, duh. Even my own mother said she can't make it because she'll be at stepsister's wedding and getting ready all day. I'm pissed. How can she choose a stepdaughter over her own grandchild? Everyone is picking this girl who isn't even really family. Holy shit. Get over yourself. My mom says to just change the party, but I think it's ridiculous. They can't do both and won't change the schedule for my stepsister. And my daughter will be the one I suffer when one of her family is at her first birthday party. Wow. Okay. The party isn't necessarily on their birthday. Sure, yeah. Yeah, she said the quiet part out loud. Absolutely. She's not even really part of the family. Again, this is another blended family problem. Definitely the asshole. I mean, she wasn't invited to the party. I guess, like, I don't know. But then don't get mad nobody shows up and everybody chooses the wedding over the birthday party. Like, who cares? The kid's not gonna care. Kid is one. Yeah, they don't know anything. They don't know what's going on. Really hoping this comment stays top so everyone can read how truly heinous this goes. Beyond she stole my mommy high school stunted growth vibes. She's taking on the mother role in the wedding since stepsister mother died giving birth to her, which I'm also not happy about. What the fuck? My stepsister's mom died in childbirth. OP is annoyed that her mom decided to be a mom to a kid who lost her one mom. Wow. That is insane. But that's a great one to end on because now everybody's going to be angry. So, chat. Once again, we find ourselves at the end of another month, the end of another Reddit court stream. And you know what? I think that was pretty great. We got to hear some voices. We got to read some insanity. Boo, new flavors. They currently have a Christmas naughty or nice bean boost, but I don't want that one. No, don't stop punishing me. I already have this. There's like still so many more beans in here. Listen, we're gonna raid Goyas because Goyas was in here earlier and I know Goyas. Playing some Jackbox. I might actually get in on that. So let's head over there. Thanks everybody for coming. And I hope to see you guys on Monday. We'll be back with Kerbal Space Program speedrun. And yeah, see you guys then. Here we go. We're hitting the raid button. Say hi to Goyas for me. They got a sweet little maid VTuber character. It's a good time.